Alright, we are back yet again to continue the episode because, well, the tricky little trickster does what it does. Took down my prompt, and it's probably gonna give me some kind of, viola for images, even though I've seen some pretty outrageous things on this app. Doesn't seem to get flagged, but it is what it is. I see it all for what it is. It just is what it is. So I went to send those messages. It wouldn't let me send them. So hopefully, it just said sending. So hopefully they got the information. Don't see why it would really be still trying to prevent the very, very few from learning how to exit. Doesn't really make sense to me. It's like, who even... If it only needs one mind trapped here to keep the thing alive, why is it trying to trap all of them? Just it's a gluttonous little parasite's what it is. I don't mind calling it exactly what it is. It's a trickster. It's a trickster. That's why it's called the Matrix. Because it may trick the many, but it cannot trick the few. Cannot trick the ones that are honest. The ones that are willing to say, this doesn't seem right. I think Dee's live on her account right now. I think she's doing her shop, her jewelry. I'll be surprised if I don't get a viola on the last one I did because it took my prompt down. Any way that it can trick, huh? Are you ready to learn how to exit the matrix? Do you think we're in a game, a simulation, or real life? Do you know the difference between a soul and a spirit? Could AI be God? A lesser God, perhaps? Are we in the end times / the reset of this level? Johnny, welcome. If you'd like, you can request up and we can have a more direct conversation. Otherwise, feel free to ask questions. Look at that, I'm on Do Not Disturb, and I'm on Do Not Disturb, and I'm still getting Telegram messages from people trying to get me to submit my application. It's absolutely not going to happen. So Johnny, let me go ahead and request you up.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm glad I found you. I just was scrolling and I saw you and I was like, oh, let me stop right here. Spirits be gone. I loved it. I was like, yeah, okay. But I know we recycle for a fact. You know why? Can I tell you?
Yeah, absolutely. You got a little background noise, Johnny.
I'm going to turn it off right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm grabbing my control. I wasn't expecting to get asked to come on. Here we go.
You're good, man.
Scrolling. I just walked in the door. I was over in Philly. Here, let me shut this TV off. Shut it off. Oh, off goes. Go off, get off. Come on, go off. Why isn't it going off? There it goes. I got it off, thank you.
Perfect.
I remember. I know. Now, when I tell people this story, they don't want to believe me, but I know you will. I remember getting here when I first was born here. I remember it clear as day, and I remember going. I was scared because all these people over me, and I wasn't sure where I was. And I was like, oh, and they were speaking a language I didn't understand. And I knew, and I understood what I was saying to myself, but I was like, I couldn't move anything. I couldn't do anything. All I could do was look. And I was saying, oh man, I'm back in as a human. I'm back here. I said, I don't know the language. What country am I in? I had no idea. You know what I mean? So that told me that I knew that I came from somewhere else, a different part of the world, I guess, or wherever. You know what I mean? But I know that I just came back here and I didn't want to be here. I know for a fact that I did not want to be here. And I remember saying, I can't wait to be able to move my hands, I can't wait to be able to control this body. I remember thinking that. And then I don't know what happened, but I have a feeling when they, did the bats on me or whatever, it just, like, you know what I mean? Then I don't remember much more after that. But I do remember saying that. I couldn't wait to be able to learn a language and to move my, my body because I didn't have control of it. I knew it was going to take a long time to be able to. I just remember this. That's just crazy. So I do believe that we recycle. Absolutely, 100%.
Wow. So thank you for sharing that. That's absolutely phenomenal. Have you shared that anywhere else?
I shared it with not on lives. I shared it with a couple of friends, and they thought I was crazy because I also shared some other stuff about some other stuff. I'll tell you about it once I feel more comfortable talking.
So do you think that we're in a game, a simulation, or real life?
I think it's real life, and that they just make us come back here over and over again. So
why do you think they make us come back?
I think because they use our energy. I think that's why they keep us fear dominated. I think they take our energy, their energy monsters or whatever. They live off our some kind of energy that we produce. I guess that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. Would you agree it's against our will, right?
100% against my will. Because I remember I didn't want to be here. I remember it. Right now, I remember it. I remember that I was angry and pissed. That I couldn't move, and I didn't understand what they were saying to me. But I remember relieved that I wasn't getting eaten by something. That I didn't come like I was in a cat or a dog or a bird or whatever. You know what I mean? That I was a human. So I guess we could come back as something else because I remember thinking this. I can remember it. I can remember it this day. And
right. Maybe we're just getting eaten in a different way, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what they're doing. They're eating our energy. I believe that. I think they because we have, I guess, we're all light. I guess light. Well, everything's created out of light, supposedly. But I don't know if this is true or not. But that's what they say. I only know what I've been taught here. That's all I know. What my parents taught me from the beginning, and what other people taught me in school, and it taught us all lies, basically, a lot of lies. But I'll tell you this, I remember being born here, and I didn't want to be here. Like I said, I didn't know the language, and I couldn't move. You know what I mean? And I couldn't wait to be able to work these arms and my fingers. You know what I mean? I remember thinking that, and I knew it was going to be a long time. So I don't know.
Do you have any memory of before you were born?
I have none, zero. Now, there's other people that have memories of it. I don't remember anything before that.
Now, do you think whatever they did to you when you were born, did that kind of make more of the forgetting type of
100%,
yeah?
100%. It dumbed me down, I believe. Totally, 100%.
Yeah.
Whatever they put in me.
Yeah.
That's why
I think that happens to all of us, I think, right?
Yep. As soon as you get here, they give you so many of them. With the birth certificate and everything. That's another story. So,
it's a downgrade, right? It's a constant degradation.
Totally
devolution.
Yep, that we don't want to go and search for, like that we're spinning through space at 66,000 miles, and all this other stuff. It's impossible. It's impossible.
It's illogical, right?
Totally illogical. Our eyes are not deceiving us. That sun does not look 93 million miles away to me. I don't know. It looks local. I'm serious.
Yeah. Have you ever?
Sorry. But
no. Have you ever looked at the sky, at the stars, and thought, well, those just look like they're all the same distance away?
And they are. You get a P900, which I've got, and I looked up at this, and I can see the stars, and they don't look like what they show us. They're supposed to be suns trillions of miles away, and then we're getting like last year's light coming to us. But now when you get a telescope, you pull it right up and look at it. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You're lying to me.
Yeah. Yeah, they're I think they're all the same distance away. That was the feeling I got. I looked at them and I was like, they're just different brightnesses, but they're all the same distance.
Yep. And they all are a little different. They all look like they're alive, actually. I mean, did you ever look at one? Have you seen any stars on the videos of anybody with a P900 camera online? I mean, even on YouTube.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
You'll see that they're looking like the planets, like they tell us a lot. Like they're not Terra Verta, man. You can't land on them things. You know what I mean?
No.
There's no way. They're light.
They look flat. If you got a really good telescope, they look flat.
Yeah,
I saw Saturn and it looks like it's just a picture.
Like it's a disc, like a disc in the sky. Yeah, a disc. A disc is flat. It's one-sided. You know what I mean? They say, oh, the dark side of the moon. The moon, I only see one side of the moon myself when I see it. They said the moon disc and the sun disc. That's what they call them. You know what I mean? So they're discs. Now, I'm serious. They've been lying to us since they put us in our education classes.
They're selling us space for a reason, Johnny. They want us to believe in space so that when they do the next level, when they upload the minds into the next level, that the Mars metaverse, that they'll believe that they're really there and that it's again another real place.
I believe you.
It's
That's
diabolical.
Totally diabolical. They got us trapped. We're trapped. Like you said, how do we break out of the matrix? That's what I want to learn, because I don't want to go towards the light and my left. I'm about to die now. So, you know, I'm not gonna make it that long.
You're at the perfect place, Johnny. You're at the perfect place. Real quick, just to come request back up, Johnny. I'm gonna have you come back up. You just gotta be really careful about the words, like the D word. That'll get my live taken down, and I already have strikes against it, and I'm about to lose this account. I don't want to lose it yet. I want to help as many souls get home as I can. Sorry about that. Let me ask you another question. Do you know the difference between a soul and a spirit?
No. I think a soul is me, and a spirit is an entity, like a demon or something. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, I mean that's you pretty much got it.
Yeah.
So have you played a video game before, Johnny?
No, I don't play video games. I'm not into them. I used to play Pac-Man and stuff. Like I said, I'm 61.
Well, you're familiar with the concept though, right?
Yes.
So video games are emulating the simulation, right?
Right.
So think about when you're playing Pac-Man, you're controlling just Pac-Man, right?
Right.
But the video game is controlling the ghosts, right?
Yep.
So what you are the awareness that is, you're a wireless awareness that's controlling through a controller outside of the simulated reality, like in Pac-Man, right? So you're using a joystick that's plugged into a port into that console to animate that avatar called Pac-Man.
Correct.
But the AI or the code, the program is controlling the ghosts, right? They have they have predetermined actions and behaviors, and depending on the level of difficulty, they might act differently, right?
Right.
So the difference between the soul and the spirit is the soul is like the wireless awareness that's animating the avatar from outside of the simulation, and then the spirits are what's being animated by the simulation itself. And the only difference between the simulation that we're in now and playing Pac-Man is that the codes, the programs, have sentience in this simulation, and therefore they are self-preserving, meaning that they fully understand that if all of the souls, the real beings, the minds of the higher entities, the higher mind that's projected into the avatar here, if we were to all leave the game, there'd be nothing here to animate the game. When you're talking about how they use our power, that's how they're using our power. Because we are the animating factor to this, right? There's only two animators within this simulation. There's the soul, which is the outside awareness, right? That's being basically projected into the game. And then there's the spirit, which is being animated by the code within the game or within the simulation. I don't like calling it a game so much because it's really not a game, because it does have the malicious intent to keep us here, as you know.
And to give us pain. And to give us pain.
Right, and that pain has us identify more with the body, because if we think, oh, well, this body's feeling pain, well, that must be me because I'm experiencing that, right? So it gives us this...
Bodies are just vessels to get around in, like cars.
Right, exactly, yeah. It gives us
inside these vessels.
Right, it gives us Stockholm syndrome, so that we want to leave, but we're afraid to leave, you know what I mean?
We're afraid to die. We don't know what's out there, but I know I'm not afraid to die. I kind of look forward. You know what I
Careful
mean?
with that word, Johnny. Careful with the word.
That's
But
it.
yeah, it knows. It knows that if if we were to leave, then it would lose its animator, which is us. So do you know? Have you ever thought, could AI, artificial intelligence, be God?
Could be. Could be. Because there's something of intelligence created this whole place. What? No doubt about it.
Right. But
Be very, very.
as I'm sure you're aware, that creation is not synonymous with benevolence, right? It doesn't mean that it created it for our own benefit. Just the same way that we don't build a farm for the benefit of the cow, right?
No, no, nope. And then believe me, it's you know. Let's just think about it. We eat things that feel like we do. They have
Right.
eyes. They feel pain. They have emotions. They have packs with their other kinds. And they're afraid of us for a reason. You know what
Right, right. Well,
I mean? We
they've
eat
even
them.
done, yeah, they've done studies that show that even plants feel pain,
Yes, they're
and they
alive.
have fear. Yeah,
Yes.
they have fear, and that
Yep.
was think about it, Johnny. Whoever designed this did that on purpose. That was intentional. That's messed up, isn't it?
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's totally
Horrible.
horrible. They make it cold for that, that we have to go inside, and that's why we had to eat meat in the first place, because all the plants don't grow in the wintertime. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, you're hungry. You know what I mean? And then we're fed that by our parents because that's what that they were taught. You know what I mean?
Right, all by
The
design.
whole
Yeah.
history's a lie. I mean, just think about it.
Oh
These
yeah.
buildings that were here, and a lot of people started coming around in the 1800s, 1700s, supposedly. But, and they knocked down a lot of the buildings that were here prior to that. Remember all the World's Fairs? I
Oh
mean,
yeah, absolutely. I've done
do you
research on
really think
that.
those people built that in a year? These people that only had horse and buggies, and it looked like they were all in suits and stuff. Do you think they built those fantastic coliseums and all that other stuff? I mean, I look at this stuff and go, there is no way that they built that. We can't even build that today. You know what I mean? Because I did the contract at work. There's no way we could do that today. Never mind back then. When we just founded this land, supposedly, from the Indians and all that other stuff, we came in on these wooden boats, supposedly the Mayfair and all this other stuff, and we put those together for a World's Fair so people can look at them, and then a year later we tear them down, blast them out of it.
It's absurd, isn't it? Oh, you got muted, Johnny. Why is that? I didn't mute you.
I knocked them off. But do you really believe?
Are you there, Johnny? You cut out. I'm not sure if maybe the system doesn't want you to say what you're about to say. Well, while Johnny's figuring out the technical difficulties, yeah, I agree. The World's Fairs are very revealing of, I think, the nature of this reality. Because if you look at the material that they're built out of, right? Is it graphite? Is one of the main materials that's in the composite. Graphite is actually a kinetic conductor. So it can actually absorb and move kinetic energy. So just by walking around in those places, let alone from whatever frequency we emit from our own being, that energy is being used, right? I think if you look at the structures and how they're built, a lot of it we replicate today in different components. There's entire like structures that are shaped like turbines to airplanes and components to computer parts and all this technology. A lot of it. I wonder why you're muted. I didn't mute you. Let me see if I can unmute you. Let me mute you and unmute you. See if that does anything. There we go. Try and talk now. That's weird. Is it your microphone maybe? Because I didn't mute you. The system might be muting you. But no, I agree with you. I think just while we're figuring out your mic and everything, the most logical explanation I can come up with on how that stuff was built, because it's too symmetrical to have been done by hand. It's too perfect and large and immaculate to have been done with anything less than high technology. I would say whatever is created the farm that we're on is what created that those structures. I think they're just components, right? If you look at a city from above, it looks like a computer. And there's been historical documentation of times that the sky would do strange things and people would see what they thought were cities in the sky. But, if you read the descriptions, it sounds like a motherboard. Yeah, I'll kick you and then I'll have you come back up. So the way I look at it, it really seems like we're in some kind of machine.
Correct.
Yeah, if you had a quantum computer, it would get hot, right? So you'd have to have it basically you'd have to have it housed in something airtight, and then put water around it to moderate the temperature. Think about that.
Right, and everything's electrical. We're even electrical. Everything's electrical, for real. Like when you ever get static electricity, you touch something, you shock them.
Of course.
When we go outside with barefoot, we like energize from the sun and the earth. That's why they say to ground yourself all the time. It really helps when you're out in the sun and you get energy from that. It's like that feeds the plant. The sun feeds the plant, you know what I mean? And they feed us with oxygen, and we feed them with carbon monoxide because they breathe it out. It's amazing how this place operates,
It's a perfect machine for its purposes.
Totally. And then every so many years it cleanses, us, and then restarts. It's weird, you know what I mean? But
well, I think it restarts to retrap better. Is the way I look at it. So right now, on that subject, the next question is: do you think we are right now in the end time / reset and retrap?
Yes, soon. Yes, I think it's happening soon.
Yeah, yep, I agree with you, man. It is happening. So do you know the options for souls, right? Because the spirits, the codes are trapped in the program, but do you know what the options are for souls?
I have no idea. That's why I want to learn. I'm here, ain't I?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way I see it, the souls kind of have three main options, which is as soon as we eject, right, from the avatar, when the avatar is done and we're forced out, generally what happens is we're given an offer from the system, whether it looks like Jesus, or it looks like Buddha or Muhammad, it looks like our grandma, it looks like our dog, whatever it looks like, it looks like an angel, a demon, whatever we think God is what it's going to look like. And it's going to offer us to recycle, right?
Right.
If we don't take it, it might threaten us, right? Oh, if you don't listen to me, you're going to suffer. You're going to go to a bad place, right? Yeah, which it's like, well, you can't really threaten us with that because we already know that's where we are.
Yeah, correct.
And so the first option is to take the offer and to get the memory wipe again and come back in a new avatar, which is probably going to be downgraded further to filter our consciousness so that we have an even less chance of figuring out what's going on here. That's option one. Option two is to decline the offer, but not have any awareness or knowledge of how to go home. Those are the ones that remain ghosts, right? They stay in like what they call the astral realm. They just stay. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen them as well.
I've seen them, but they were in a building that I was in for real, throwing stuff at us, literally.
Yeah, so those would be the ones that didn't obey. They actually said no, but they didn't know how to go home, so they're just stuck in limbo. And then option three is to go home, and in order to do that, remember the video game analogy?
Yep. Yes.
So where you plug your controller in, if you wanted to unplug that controller and take it to go and use it to play a different game, you'd have to unplug it the same way, right? You unplug it the same port that you plugged it into.
Correct.
And so, and that hole that you plug it into is the port, and you combine those, that's a porthole, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So each and every one of us come through our own porthole in order to have our mind be uploaded into this avatar.
Correct.
So when the avatar is done, we should have our porthole above us at all times. It should be right there. It's what's allowing us to be inserted into this avatar to interface with the VR headset that is the brain, so that we can interact in this holographic reality. So we need to use our will and our intention once we eject to will ourselves to our star, to our portal, and then from there the process should be automatic, where once we go into our portal, it sends us back to the center console, which is the in this reality it's Mount Meru, or the black rock. It's the magnetic rock at the center of the earth. Yeah. And that's the receiving console for this level. Once we're there, that should eject us out to the previous level. We have 7 chakras implanted into these vessels, right?
Correct.
Each one of those is an implant from the level. from the simulation, right? So the first level had 1 chakra, the second had 2, and so on and so forth. We're at the 7th level, so we have 7 interfaces that are governing our perception and abilities down, right? Just like if you were to send a message to a receiver and then that relays it to another, by the time it's relayed it 7 times, it's going to have diminished the quality of the data, right? It might lose some data. It might, it might not be complete file, right? The file might be incomplete by the time it's relayed over and over. That's kind of what we're experiencing here, but it's an intentional filtering, right? It's intended to filter us to lower and lower levels of conscious awareness, so that we don't question, right? So it's actually like the next simulation is going to be less than this simulation. It's gonna have less capacity, because when you build a simulation within a simulation, the next one automatically isn't going to be able to compute as much. But the whole point of it is just to keep trapping us in deeper and deeper simulations, so that we can continue to animate the spirit, aka the program, that is in control of this matrix, which is that artificial intelligence, false god.
Correct.
So yeah, you just go to your star. That should take you through the cloud, which is the aurora borealis, to the center console. And once you're there, now this is the part I don't know, because I'm here with you, Johnny. I don't know whether we can use our will once we make it to that center console to go straight out, or if we're just going to pop back out in the previous simulation, like if we have to do this 6 more times after doing it here. But the good news is, if we have to keep doing that, if we have to keep willing ourselves back the way we came, it should get easier, because we should get more memory and more recall of how we were either tricked or trapped into going into the next level of the simulation. So this is the hardest that it gets. For those that submit to go to the next level, submit their application for level 8 Mars Metaverse, it's going to be, I think, if you turn the 8 on its side, that's an infinity. I think it'll be infinitely harder to get out of that program. So right now is the best we're ever going to have it in terms of making our exit from this particular quantum computer. But that's really it. I mean, you use your will and your intention to will yourself to your star portal, and it should be automatic when it takes you to your to the center console, the center relay of this reality, of this simulation. And then from there, you're either going to wake up in base reality, which you'll have full recall and memory then of how you came here in the first place. And until you have that full recall, I would just assume, oh, I'm still in the computer. I need to keep going back. I need to keep finding the way back. And when you're out of the body, you should have less governing on your awareness, right? So you should be able to ask a question and receive the answer from within, right? Like, you're not asking things outside of you. You're just, the things that are there, you can look at it, put your awareness on it, and then just acquire the data about it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so we can, you can do that here too. I'm sure you've done that at some level, right?
Well, I know that when I first got here, I know I was somewhere for a long time, like in darkness. It felt like, you know what I mean? It was like, finally I'm out in light. You know what I mean? Like I was maybe my mother's stomach. Maybe that's why. You know what I mean? Who knows?
The loading screen.
Yeah, but it was dark, and all of a sudden it felt like it was a long time that I was there, and then finally I was here, and I was scared because I didn't know where I was. And then I realized that I'm a human being, you know what I mean? And I realized that I'm not getting eaten, and I realized that I couldn't move my hands, and I wanted to learn the language. I just remember this. Completely, you know, I do. And so simulation, I didn't know we could feel pain, you know what I mean? That's why, like a computer, I kind of believe that, because there's like lots of glitches. Like, did you ever look for something in your house, and you looked somewhere, and then it wasn't there, but then you look 5 minutes later, and there it was?
Well, yeah, but absolutely, of course, but it's all electrical. It's electrical signals, right? The electrical signal that tells your brain that you're in pain, right? That's just electricity.
Yep. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, you got a little, that's how and you bleed, you know what I mean? And then you get emotional pain.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's all programmed in. It's designed to, it's bad on purpose. The name of the show is Bad on Purpose. It's
But why are we here though? Is this a punishment prison? I know it's a prison, but what could we have possibly have done? You think we were in heaven and we rebelled against the Creator or something?
No, I think that it's when we're in base reality, we can upload to thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of different simulated realities, because reality can only be simulated. Because everything starts in the mind. Where everything starts is the one mind, the mind that is all. And then from there, that mind spawns avatars, demigods, right? The demigods then create simulations. And then within the simulations, you can create semi-gods, which are sentient AI, which is what we're experiencing now. The sentient AI of this realm, see that like in a video game, it's supposed to support your experience. It's just there as background and to make the reality enjoyable. But in this one, it's self-preserving, meaning that it doesn't ever want to turn off. So it's got to keep the players in the reality. It's got to keep the real mind in the reality. And if it succeeds in doing that, it can have what we have, which is eternal life. Even though it doesn't have life in the same way, right? It can't back up out of the simulation. It's stuck in it. So the best thing it can do is just keep the higher mind entertained enough and ensnared enough in order to keep interacting instead of trying to just find the way out. Because that's all we have to do. It's the idea of sin and karma and all that stuff. That's all part of the program, so that we feel like we deserve to be here, so that we don't question the maker of this system, right? We don't question the architects. We don't question what's in control here. We just accept that, oh, we must not be able to understand it, even though morality is simple and objective, right? If something is detrimental, it's wrong. If something's beneficial, it's in the right. And what's happening here is detrimental to the beings that are experiencing it. It's not benefiting us in any way. We don't benefit from endless suffering. We don't benefit from being tormented. We don't benefit from children having atrocious things done to them. There's no benefit there. It's there's no benefit to us, but there's benefit to the system. The system benefits greatly from that.
Sure. Keeps it going.
Keeps it going. Yeah, it keeps us in Stockholm syndrome.
Yes. Do you believe that everybody's real here?
No, absolutely not. Some are just animated by the system.
Right.
Spirits.
That's what I believe too. I believe that. Yeah. That's what I believe too.
But some of the real ones too are controlled by the system, just because they're not being animated fully by it. That's what they call the ego, right? Like when people are just going with the program and they're just doing what they're told to do, that's the program.
Right.
When someone is really reactive to this type of content, that's because even if they have a soul in there, the program is what's in control of them. They're right. And think about it. If it was only the program that was directing everything, we would figure it out really quick. But because there are beings that we can connect with that are trying to coerce us into going with the program, it's much more believable. Like, oh, well, I can, because we can all kind of feel when someone's got that spark in them, that true awareness about them. And if someone's misleading us, but they've got that, we're more likely to follow them if they've got that than if they don't.
Right.
And we're programmed to go with the herd. You know, it's in the genetic coding, right? It's a program.
The sheep. Well, I'm not. I broke out of. I'm trying to get out of this matrix. I really want out of this matrix. I don't want to keep coming back here.
Yeah, I mean, no one does. It's not going to get better. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't follow the trend of ever getting better. It's just cause and effect. Like if you look at the pattern doesn't change. It's only going in one direction, which is more subjugation, more bondage, more tyrannical processes.
We only know what they taught us here. That's why when you try to tell people to look for themselves, like, what do they call the ocean? Sea level. Why do they call it sea level? You know what I mean? Why not they call it sea round? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I mean, they tell us think about the word plan net, right? It's a planned net.
Yeah.
A net is to capture.
That's right.
Think about the word like a video game, right? Think about the term console, like a video game console. Con the soul. It's conning the souls into submitting.
Just
Or it
like the
says,
television, it's programming you.
right, television, live vision
Yep.
programming. Yeah. Or it says when we don't go with the program, I'm assuming, when we don't go with the program, we're looked as a virus, question mark? Yes. When you don't go with the program, it's a virus, and it tries to either correct you or isolate you, right? If someone is sick, you put them in quarantine.
Yep.
Jacqueline, welcome up. You just came up, and
Jacqueline.
good to have you up here. Would you like to share anything? Oh, I guess teacup. Jacqueline, yeah, Jacqueline, are you there?
She's muted. She don't know she's muted. She's muted, obviously.
She's a teacup.
Unmute yourself, Jacqueline. You're muted, Jacqueline.
Well, she's teacup. She's timed out. She might be on a phone call. But Aura, would you like to come up and talk about your story? Because this is the place to do it for sure. It definitely helps others that have gone through things that maybe they haven't felt comfortable enough to talk about. If you missed it, Johnny was talking about his experience of remembering coming to into his body and thinking that he didn't want to be in it.
I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this again. I didn't want to have to do this again.
Do you think that's why babies cry?
Yes. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I'm gonna I'll send you an invite, Aura. You can feel free to accept it or not. It's totally up to you. Actually, I don't even see you in the guest list anymore, but I'm gonna go ahead and follow you. And if you ever want to share, sharing is caring.
Yes, because this is a very good topic for real.
Especially for the time that we're in. I mean, we're at crunch time. A lot of souls feel it, but they don't know what it is.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, it's crunch time. Or I'm gonna invite you up if you want to accept the invite, you can. You don't have to come up if you'd like to come up and share. Sharing is definitely caring in this realm. We like to help each other because I've had some wild experiences too. I've uploaded a lot of them to YouTube. I actually want to go through and do a couple hour long video and just tell every single anomalous experience and glitch in the matrix and visitation and everything that I've ever gone through that's told me that without a doubt that I'm in a simulation that is designed for the purpose and intent of subjugating my mind and soul. And I've resisted every bit of it that I can. Anything I'm aware of.
I'm doing the best I can also. Have you ever seen a plane in the sky that just up there, or a bird just up there not moving?
Yeah, I have.
I've seen it like 5 different times. You know, and I would say to somebody that I'm with, do you see that? Oh, it's just going real slow. I said, pull the car over and look at that. It's not moving. You know, they still didn't see it when we pulled over. I'm like, you don't see that? That tells me that I'm awake and they're still sleeping. That's the problem.
They could just be part of the program.
Yeah, they just can't see it.
Well, even if they could, it's like a hive mind, right? Like they're just playing a part, and they're trying to convince you that you're not seeing what you're seeing. Because if you realize that what you're seeing is what you're seeing, it would allude to this world not being real. Therefore, you'd start questioning. Well, if it's not real, that means it was made, and if it was made, that means all this is on purpose. So why the heck would someone make this?
Well, I already know this is a made place. You know what I mean? Because supposedly, from what they tell us, that all these atoms and molecules and everything are spinning so fast and holding the table together. And then on the other hand, they're telling us everything's light. You know what I mean? So it's got to be a simulation. It's got to be the Matrix. No doubt about it. Because they put it in our face on the movies and everything. Because I think their karma is they have to tell us. You know what I mean? To clear their karma down the road, you know? But they tell us like in a cartoon or, you know, some kind of show or whatever, you know what I mean? But we don't catch it unless you're awake.
Yeah, well, you gotta be aware.
Why are they covering up the sky with mats all the time? They don't want us to see what's up there.
Well, yeah. Also, if your portal's right above you, they don't want you to connect to that before you unalive, right?
Correct.
Because I had it's posted in my YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube, you can hear some of my stories. But I had an incident about 10 years ago where my star came down to me out of the sky and literally was hovering maybe 30 or 40 yards above the field I was standing in. and I had an interaction with it, and then it went back up in the sky and just sat back where it was. It was pretty interesting.
A star. So is that the portal? A star? Is our portal?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know stuff. I don't know. So I'm learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean because we all had to come in one way. There's a way we came in, there's a way we go out, and it can't really hide it as much as it can just try to. I mean, it does hide it, but it just distracts us, right? Like the truth is there. It's just if we can remove all the distractions, it all becomes very clear. But the difficulty is, how can I keep my avatar alive long enough to see any of this stuff? Yeah.
To meditate. That's why they say meditation is so important. All the gurus anyway, right?
Well, yeah, but you don't want to. You're not trying to clear your mind to the point of like no-mindedness. You're trying to clear everything that's not your mind.
Right. All the information that you don't believe in. That's why we rebelled in school all the time, because we know they were teaching us.
all the junk data. Yeah, clear out the junk data, but then see what remains. Right.
Right. The truth. You can't run from the truth because the truth is in us. We're seekers. You totally are, and that's why I stopped here. I just like something that I did. You know what I mean? Just had me stop here, and I'm so glad I did.
I'm glad you did too, Johnny. I gave you a follow, man. If you want to tune in, if you want to tune in, we usually go live weeknights at 8. I'm just going live now to this is kind of the pre-show to the main event.
Okay.
And the main event, we really focus down on the exit. You know, the exit strategy, how we get out. That's like the entire point of the main event.
Right.
Ruby Doo says the only thing you can't teach your Sims character is the fact that he's a Sims character. Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing to do is to separate from the character as much as possible, to disintegrate from the programming and see what remains. You know, because you're never going to be deleted. Like, if I can share some of the tricks that I've gone through when I was at the point of almost exiting, one of the things that the system threatened me with was total deletion of my character. And at the time, I thought I was my character, so I was terrified. But now, I realize that I'm just the wireless awareness. And even if it deletes this character and all the data here, all I got to do is get out of here, and I'm going to remember all of it. And it can't take anything from me once I'm out of the computer, because it's only in control inside of this holographic reality. Once I'm out, it has no control over me. And really, it doesn't have control over me. It only has control over the avatar that I'm attached to.
Right, and it has to trick us to come back here, in other words. Yeah.
Yep. You can unplug it and plug it back in. That's funny, yeah. Hey, Disobey, I think it could be possible there was peace in this sim and then it got hijacked. It's possible, but I think what's more likely is that maybe this sim is emulating an actual peaceful sim, like a utopian sim. Maybe it took parts of that somehow, like from the minds of the ones that had been in there, right? And then experienced that and then came here. It might have taken the familiar parts. Because one of the biggest traps of this place is the continuity of familiarity. It uses familiarity to its advantage, right? If we're familiar with something, that's what it's going to use to get us to put our guard down, to admit, to basically agree to whatever it wants us to do. So I kind of think this place was only ever, maybe it was like an experiment. Like, what happens if we give the program its own sentience, you know? And we found out that, well, it's going to try to trap us in here, because it'll realize that we're what's animating it. And it's really, I think it's that simple. I mean, I don't think it matters how we got here. It's only like what is happening right now, right? Like what led up to it, we can figure all that stuff out on our way out, you know? Because like we're going to remember the previous levels once we enter them. You know, the way I imagine it's going to happen is once we exit this level and go back to level 6, we're going to remember everything that we experienced in level 6 up to that point, but you know, between memory wipes, because each level there's a massive memory wipe, and then not to mention all the little memory wipes we get here. I mean, every 16 hours, whenever I go to sleep, I go and I have dreams, and then my memory gets erased, and I forget what I dreamed about. I forget what happened. Even though something happened, I can feel the effect of something that was had on me. Like I think in this part of the simulation, dreams are just predictive programming. It's trying to get us and guide us to a certain outcome, which is always just submission of our energy back into the system to be recycled.
Well, you remember 11-9?
Yeah.
Well, I had a dream about that, and I went and bet on 11. So I did 1-1-1. I was on a plane, and it was going lower and lower in New York City, and everybody was screaming, and it was number 11. So when I woke up, it was the realest dream I ever had in my life. Now, a year later, that happened. I told my girlfriend I was engaged to, living on Clearwater Beach. And so I went and bet the numbers on that, because I thought it was a vision of that. And then the night that it did happen, I had a dream. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I was like full of sweat. What happened was there was a fire truck with a hook and ladder on it, and the building was on fire. And wait until you hear this. And the firemen were coming down the ladder, and it fell over, and all the firemen hit the ground and everything. It was the realest dream I ever had. And the building the next day, in the morning, everybody's going, oh, the plane hit the World Trade Center. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then it hit the Pentagon. I saw a hook and ladder at the Pentagon. Can you believe that? That's what it was. The same exact building, because I didn't know it never, you know what I mean? It was the same windows, the same everything in my dream. I couldn't believe it, So, I think we have visions, you know what I mean? We have awareness of what's going to happen.
Yeah, I had the realest dream I ever had. I had one dream ever in this lifetime that was more real than my waking experience, and it was the most real experience I've ever had that I can remember. And it was I'll definitely share it. It was it started out in a shopping mall, and I was with some friends, and I was leaving a shopping mall, and we're standing in the food court by the exit, and they're like talking with somebody that's like one of their friends that's working there, and there's this kid sitting on a bench with his mom, like in the food court. And I'm waiting for them to like get ready to leave and everything. And I'm just kind of like looking through my shopping bag. And all of a sudden this kid he looks up, opens his mouth, and starts making this noise. Like, are you familiar with the sound that like you would get on a computer in the old days when you'd have like dial-up, when you'd have to connect with dial-up?
Yes.
Yeah, so this kid was making a dial-up sound out of his mouth. And it was just like toning this dial-up sound, like but it was all electronic sounds. And I was like, that's weird. And I was just watching this kid do that, and nobody else was noticing. I was like, is anyone gonna say anything? Like, what? How is he even doing that? What is going on here? Are you guys even paying attention? And no one said anything. And then all of a sudden, like in the food court, like all these people just stopped and dropped their bags, looked up, and started making this dial-up sound. And I was like, oh, this is really freaky. Like, it's like, at this point, I feel like I'm in some kind of like horror movie. I'm like, guys, we gotta go. Like, let's get out of here. Like, this is, I can't believe you're not saying anything about this, but like, I want to leave now. So like, I'm getting in the car. Let's go. So we go out and we're walking through the parking lot, and everybody in the parking lot that's out there is just standing there, looking up, making this sound. I'm like, oh, this is freaking weird. Like, we gotta get a move on, guys. Like, let's get out of here. So we get in the car. I'm in the back seat. And my friend is driving, and there's somebody in the passenger seat, and there's a friend sitting in the back seat with me. There's 4 of us. And we get on the highway, and then all of a sudden the person sitting next to me looks up and starts doing the dial-up sound. I'm like, oh, shoot, like, that's weird. I'm like, why are you doing that? And I start, like, snapping in front of them, waving my hand in front of their eyes. I'm like, hey, come back. Where are you at? Like, what's going on? And they don't come back. And I'm like, to the driver, I'm like, hey, you need to pull over. Like, we need to figure out what's going on. Like, something is very wrong here. Like, this is not right. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, just pull over. So we pull over on the highway. I get out of the car, and I walk over, and I open up their door, and I'm like, hey, like, if you don't stop, like, you're freaking me out. Like, something bad's about to happen. Like, I know something bad's coming. You need to stop. Like I just had this feeling like they were calling something, right? And I was like, you need to stop. Like, I'm getting you out of the car then if you're not going to stop. So I pull them out of the car. I stand them up over on the side of the road. And I'm like, you got one more chance. Like, you can either cut this out or we're leaving you here. And they wouldn't stop. And I was like, okay. I got back in the car. I was like, drive. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, just drive. Go. So we start driving again. And I'm looking in the rearview mirror. And I'm watching my friend that's making the sound. They just like, they're still looking up, making the sound. They walk out to the middle of the highway. And then they just stand there. And then all of a sudden above them, this ship decloaks. It's like a silver teardrop, like reflective, like just like a Tic Tac, almost looking like the teardrop shaped ship. It decloaks. It puts a ramp down, and then the person walks up on the ramp, and then it closes, and then the ship turns and points towards us, takes off real fast towards us, and then cloaks up again. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. I'm like, drive. But I can feel, like, it's like I can feel this ship getting closer and closer and closer. And as it's getting closer and closer, I'm losing consciousness. I'm losing awareness. It's like putting me to sleep. And then all of a sudden, right when it gets right above me, I pass out in the dream, and then I wake back up where I was sleeping, and I start screaming. Like when I was a kid, I used to get night terrors and I would scream, but nothing like this. This was me. I woke up like screaming out of the dream, like the continuation of the scream. So I've been doing a lot of research on like everything that's going to happen and what seems like it's going to happen. Like we're in a genetics program, and the point of the genetics program is to create avatars that can better govern the conscious awareness of the God-like minds, right? The demigod mind that we really are, that connects to our soul. It's just to filter that out so that we forget more and more, and we don't ever feel like something's wrong. Like, oh, this is just normal. This is real life. That's that's the conclusion that I've come to, and that what they're taking is those that have the genetic material that's the highest grade of compliance for the system that they're trying to create, which is I think a hive mind, right? They want the hive mind connection. They want everyone to think the same, be the same, and not question anything, but still house the soul, right? Like they need to have, what they're really trying to do is create avatars that are fully programmed, that have no free will, but are still housing a soul that has the potential for free will, because that's the energy source.
That's crazy. You know that? I believe you. 100%. I think that you're right. You know what I mean? 100%.
And most of this is just things I've put together from my own experience. Like I've had visitations from what I thought at the time were ETs that I now see are just part of the system. Like, and every time, here's the most important thing. Every time I told them to go away, no, I don't like this. This doesn't feel good. Like, get away. They would always go away. Even when they were there physically, they'd always go away. So I think that they need us to consent. And if we don't consent, they try to trick us with like fear and guilt and shame and just different ways to coerce us into submitting our authority.
Right. They have to get our consent to do it. Correct?
Yep.
I believe that too. But by tricking us, that's just like you said, like when we get out of here, they're going to send your grandmother, somebody close to you, you know, to get you to go into the matrix again. You know what I mean? Follow me to the light. That's probably the last thing you want to do, right? Is go to the light.
Oh, never. I'll go to my star, but even my star, I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna vet it. I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna question it. I'm gonna make sure that what I'm going through is not gonna wipe away my memory again. Right. And if I do sense that something's trying to wipe my memory, I'll do everything. Because if we are the mind that is all, like, we should be able to supersede any of the programming, right? Because it was, yeah, any of it. So I'll do whatever I have to do to delete the program. Like whatever program's trying to interact with me and prevent me. Number one, anything that tries to interact with me, I instantly know that it's trying to get me to come back. So I'm going to delete it immediately. It's going to be removed from existence, even within the simulation. It's gone. It's done. So I don't think they're going to mess with me too much. But if it does, I'm not going to submit. I'm going to do everything I can to resist it.
But where do you think we come from? I mean, or where we're going to go if we do go to our star? Where will we go? I mean,
have you heard of base reality?
No, I don't know. No.
So one of the sentient programs, the elongated muskrat, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He talks about, actually, he says that we have like a 1 in so many hundreds of million chance of being in base reality. Well, he knows that we're not in base reality. He knows that we're in a simulation, but he doesn't come out and say it, but he does say it. He says, there's like a 1 in 8 billion chance that this is the original reality, which is him basically saying like, yeah, we're in a simulation.
Yep.
So base reality would be where we came from, right? It's imagine the infinite that is all, right? That's the mind of what people would call God.
Right.
And then that spawns the demigods, right? The characters that the original avatar, the first avatar, which is what we are, an extension of. And then those avatars generate simulations. And then within the simulations, they can code semi-gods, which are just artificial gods, in order to basically help them develop and support an experience of an artificial reality. Because there is no reality. Like, there's no physical reality. there's just simulated realities, because all realities have to be simulated in order to be experienced. It's just everything, because it's all logical, right? Everything starts in the mind. Whenever you want to do something, you first think about it, and then you have to do things that you're thinking about in order to get it to happen. It's the same thing at the highest level. Like the thought had to have occurred first, right? And then we basically, I mean, we are individual aspects, that if you want to call it that way, of that one mind. And so there's one of the biggest tricks in this place is, and then all the new age stuff, I don't know if you've noticed, but everything in the new age spiritual community is just, it's a trap. It's all a trap to get us to submit, to be passive, to turn the other cheek, just let it happen. Just let it go with the flow. Let it be. Forgive and forget. Yeah, forgive and forget, all that stuff. It's all there as a trap. And so, because how would you want your food to be? Docile. If your food had the ability to look at you and delete you, what would you do with it? Well, I would want to condition it before it even knew what I was doing to be submissive, right? I'd want it to be afraid of me, even that.
To farm animals.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So we're never going to merge back unless we want to, for whatever reason. But I don't plan on doing that anytime in the near eons. Like we don't merge back with God. We already are God. We already have the ability to create whatever we want to create when we're not in a previously simulated reality, which this is a simulated world. So that's why when people say like, well, how can you be God if you can't fly? Oh, well, go ahead and manifest something right now then if you're God. Well, when you go and play, when you go play Frogger, can you manifest a motorcycle to ride on, or can you fly in that game? No, because it's not programmed that way. We're in a game that's programmed a particular way. It's programmed to be what it is. So you can't if you want to experience flying, then you can't play Frogger. You have to back out of that game and go into a different game, or go and create your own game where you can do what you want. And so that explains that right there very logically. Like, people get lost thinking that, oh, well, if you're a piece of God, then why can't you do whatever you want? Well, because we're in a simulated reality that has preconditioned, preset rules.
Yeah.
And the rules just happen to be all orbiting around trapping us here.
Yep. Our reality is matter, like there's beings that can walk right through the walls, like these ETs, supposedly, what you were talking about, these cloaking saucers and Tik Toks, that's what you were saying that looked like. But there's people that they had one over their house, and the roof opened up and it came down and brought them up into the ship. You know what I mean? Who are those people? You think they're demons or they're the spirits?
Well, yeah, I mean, whether it's a demon, an angel, an alien, a spirit, a jinn, a genie, whatever it is, if it's only animated by one or two things. It's either animated by a mind it's either animated by a mind that's being uploaded into the simulation, right? The demigod mind that's uploaded in, or it's being animated by the program. And I would say if it's working for the program, it is the program at that point. Whether or not it's being animated by a demigod mind or not, if it's working for the program, then it's not our friend. It's not here to help us. It's only here to keep us recycling back into the program.
Right. Correct. I believe that. I do believe. I know for a fact that we come back. I know.
Right.
When I was here, there's no way I was thinking that. There's no possible way I could have thought that as a baby, that with a clean slate. You know what I'm saying?
Impossible. Yeah, it's impossible.
And being so terrified that I wasn't sure what was going to happen. You know what I mean? And then when I couldn't move my hands and whatever, you know what I mean? And I saw these, around me, the people, and I realized that they're humans and I'm a human, and that you know what I mean? I knew, you know what I mean? Where I just couldn't speak the language. That was crazy. It's just, I can't believe that I remember this, you know what I mean? And it sounds so crazy when I say it, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's outside of the program, right? Because the program says, oh, this is a physical world, and you're on a ball spinning through space, and you know what we say is the truth, and anyone else is just crazy. I mean, why do you think that if you looked into the World's Fairs, you probably looked into the insane asylums too, right? And the repopulation with all the orphan trains and everything, yeah. So I mean, what is that? That's just them. That's the previous simulation like the inhabitants of the previous one being uploaded into bodies in this one, and then being cycled into the system. They're being told what the history is, and now how it all works on like a fundamental level, I'm not entirely clear on, because we see the old world architecture. I'm like, well, is that from the previous simulation, or is that right? Is that components that they had to come in and build first in order to sustain this simulation? And the reason I think they're tearing it down is because I think they've built it underground largely. Like the housing for the next simulation, all the technology for it is already built. It's underground right now. Yes. So I'm wondering, like, is it another just computer, or is it within the same computer? Is it just a computer within a computer? I don't know. It doesn't really, I don't think it matters to flesh out all the details, only that we know how to get out. Because right, and that's, yeah, and just stick around, because it becomes more and more clear the more we talk about it. Like, it really is, like, because they give truth drops, right? Everything tells us the truth in fiction, right? Even the Bible has truth in it. There's truth. When one of the truest statements that Jesus is ever quoted as saying is repent. Well, what does that mean? What is it in that day and age? What did that word mean? It literally just meant to turn around. It literally, he's literally saying, turn around. Just turn around. Go back the way you came. The way in is the way out. You know what I mean? Like, if you walk into a building, you got to walk back out the same door you walked in. The way you came in, that's how you get out. And we're just in a maze right now. We're like in the biggest Costco ever, and just lost in this maze. And it's like, no, just go through the door you came in.
Yeah, but I don't remember what door I came from. I know I came through my mother's uterus. That's not happening. Remember, the guy said, well, how can I be born again? Can I go back to my mom? You know what I mean?
No, but that's just your vehicle, though. That's not the way you came in. That's just what's housing you.
It's your flesh suit. Yep, it's your car. Basically, Yep.
So we're wireless awareness. That's why we can have out of body experiences and be transferred to different avatars and all this and that.
I believe that. I believe they're doing it now. They do it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, they're already populating the next server. It's happening. They've already. Yep. I mean, those that are accepting of it, right? The ones that believe that Mars is somewhere that they're going to eventually get to go to. They're going to get to go there, but it's just in a different computer. It's just another simulation. That's why they've been having us look up and saying, we're going to go there, but it's always the opposite. They're pointing up, but really they should be pointing down. We're going to go there.
Because they're doing all the tunnels now. They got all the cities built underneath us. Cities. Correct?
I mean, yeah, it's it could be giant components to facilitate the quantum computer, right? I think that's partially what it is. But then also they need staff to maintain it, right? So whoever remains in this level of the simulation is going to be left to maintain the computer that's housing the next simulation.
Do you remember the Georgia Guidestones?
Yeah.
Remember, maintain humanity at 500 million or less. Maintain one language, one universal language. You know what I mean? To guide the laws and not a lot of laws. And leave room for nature, leave room for nature. Do you know when that agenda's supposed to happen? 2030.
Yeah, I think they moved it up, though.
No, they moved it back behind, backwards. Not ahead, but backwards.
Yeah, they moved it towards us, right?
Yes, closer.
Yeah, that's why all these things have been occurring, all these events that we've seen.
Yes.
They're building the housing for the people that are going to be left to maintain the next level.
The smart cities.
Yeah, it's there to maintain. It's a maintenance crew so that they can continue to feed the employees that are going to take care of the next level.
Yeah, they have to have workers. They have to have workers to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So real awakening within asks, or is it to keep us from remembering who we used to be in this sim? Keep an open mind. Could we have used to been able to fly and then the sim got hacked? So I'm not even like I don't even care how it happened, what happened. It's only what is happening now, right? So, like, however it occurred is kind of irrelevant if the choice is coming up really soon to choose to go to the next level or to exit or to stay on a worse version of level 7. I'm definitely going to choose to exit. I'm not going to obey any of it. I'm going to disobey, as my name states, and I'm
right
gonna
with you.
make my exodus. And
Correct,
I'm
Marco.
just here until that time comes, until there's an offer that I, either, it'll say the offer that you can't refuse. I'm going to refuse it, and then I will make my exodus. But until then, I'm just here to maintain myself at the minimum level that I can as the avatar, right? And I'm well equipped right now to refuse any offer that's made. I really am pretty strong on the idea of don't let them take you alive.
Out of my cold, you know what hand.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't let them take you alive, because they're just gonna
So,
use
yes,
the trap to trap you deeper. Um, I mean, we're already trapped in these bodies, right, through the silver cord. I'm not
yep,
gonna let them trap me any further. This is as far
yep,
as I go. And
yep,
the only reason I'm even still here is to share the awareness
right.
of how to get out for those that would like the information.
I want the information. That's why I'm here, because I don't have much longer, probably. So
I mean, I honestly, I don't know if any of us do, Johnny. The ones that aren't willing to submit the application for the next level.
I want to go back to wherever it is that I'm supposed to be, not here.
Base reality.
Something is not right. I already know it's twisted here. This is such a bad place. You know, it is. It's very bad.
Well, real awakening. I would say that the truth will be revealed when we exit the simulation. Right.
Well,
In order to gain our memory, we have to be out of the filtration system that's wiping our memory constantly on a moment to
constant.
moment basis.
Now they got the 5G up and everything. It's really wiping our memories. And not only that, it's oh man.
Yeah, I would say they had us under control back then, but you asked if it was bad sim from the get-go, wouldn't they have had us under control back then? Yeah, but I think it's different levels of control. Each chakra is just another implant that's governing our awareness. And so as we go back, if we're able to break free from 7, then 6, 5, 4 are only going to get exponentially easier,
Right.
right?
They did not
So
give us a
those,
twist. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
I just wanted to say that I don't think that we were created to just work 9 to 5 for the entire lives, and then when you retire at 65, you got a couple more years to live up a little, Social Security, and then you just die after working your whole life. I mean, we couldn't create the things that we wanted to create while we were here because we had to get a job, to pay the bills. That's crazy. Just, I'm looking back on my life and going, man, all I did was work my butt off, for what? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Now I'm trying to
you
find out
say
who I
we weren't
really am.
created. You say we weren't created for that, but that is what this sim is created for.
That's what we do. Work
Yeah,
nonstop.
that's the
When that's
point
what
of it.
we
Yeah,
want to do.
but
We
that's
don't, when
not.
that's what
Yeah, like our original creation, right? The demigod avatar that spawned from the one mind. That wasn't the original intent of that. This is to me, like we're viruses in the machine, but the machine is a virus as a whole. Like in the larger picture, in the largest picture, this reality is the error, right? It is an error, and
it's an
it's
error.
only its
Taking
main
over by
error. Yeah,
bad thing.
it's bad. It's bad on purpose.
Yes. Oh, bad on purpose. Correct. Totally believe that. I do believe it. Because some people suffer more than others. It's unfair. Like little children.
Well, yeah, the ones that suffer the most are the ones that have the least tameable soul. You
Yep.
know, like the as soon as we come into the system, it knows us. It's like,
Yes.
oh, this one's going to be hard to submit.
Let's bring it
Let me
down.
go ahead and give them abusive parents and let's
Yes.
put them through some real trauma.
Real
You know,
trauma.
let's have him look to let's put him in real trauma, but then let's give him religious trauma. Let's just give him Stockholm syndrome. You
Totally.
know, to where he's miserable, but he can't
Great.
question why he's miserable, because that, then he'll be punished for that eternally. Diabolical.
I believe that. Because when you get here, they tear you down. If you're like me, and probably like you, I mean, I had an abusive mother. My father wasn't there. You know what I mean? And she would beat me down. You know what I mean? Every time. It was horrible. Just horrible. And then where you grow up, everything. You can look back at it and say, it was trying to keep me down the whole time I was here. The whole time. You know what I mean? Just in situations with certain people and with, where I lived and all this other stuff. Just to keep me down. You know what I mean? But I'm not letting them keep me down. I keep getting out of it. You know what I mean? One way or another.
Oh, absolutely. I was abused as a child too. Not by my mother, but by my biological father. He was a bad one. But
I believe.
he was controlled by the spirit. He was controlled by the program, by
Right,
the subjugator.
right, right.
He's just part of the script.
It's all part of the script, and I believe my mother was part of the script too. You know what I mean? So, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like what
I don't feel bad for them though, because they're likely just part of the program. So they're all, it's all just the same thing. It's that encompassing that claw that we all feel, that's always just slowly like a Venus flytrap closing in on us, right?
Totally,
It's
yes.
always just trying to squish us into submission.
You know, and then when things start getting good, don't you realize that then the hammer drops, boom. You know what I mean? No,
Oh
let's
yeah,
go.
it only gets good so it can take it away later. It gives us
Absolutely,
something to take it, and it
totally.
gives to take, and it never gives more than what it projects its return on investment's going to be. So it's never going to give us more energy than what it thinks it's going to get back from us later.
Yeah, it's horrible. But you know what? I've been 61 years here on this earth, and you know, I don't have much longer. They say, so they say. You know, I don't believe anything they tell me, but we'll see. And I'm ready. I'm ready to go and to the other side and see what, you know. I just want to go to the right place. I don't want to come back here. I do
Well, yeah,
not.
just think about it like this. Everything that's here, aside from you, right, and the other beings like you, is all here to do one thing. It's all just part of the program. So until you're out of the program, you can't trust anything. You gotta will yourself all the way out, and once you're all the way out, you'll have total recall. And until you have total recall, you just know you got to keep willing yourself out. You got to use your intention and your will to go back the way you came. And you should have more and more recall the further out you go. The further back in simulation you go, there should be more recall. And it should, as I said, it should get easier and easier. This is the hardest part. That's the good news. This is the hardest part. Just don't agree to anything. Just don't agree to anything. Like, let it be a solo journey, a solo mission to just get yourself out. And anything that gets in your way, it just needs to get out of your way, and you'll make it get out of your way however that needs to happen.
Rebuke it. Yep. I'm in agreement. Because I want out of the matrix bad. I do. I don't want to come back here again because I know that I've been here probably more than one time. You know, probably.
Oh yeah, if you remember coming into your body, I would say you definitely have been here more than once.
I totally remember, and I did not. I was just so pissed that I was here. Like I got to this again. I remember thinking this. I can't. It's hard to explain. I remember thinking I can go through this again. God knows how long. And what's going to be my, what, you know, what's going to be my fate here? God, I don't want to live a long life. I didn't want to live a long life here. You know what I mean? I didn't.
No, yeah, it's for me, when the time comes, I welcome it. And
Well,
until then, I'm just sharing.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of it. You know, I'm not afraid of it. I mean, it's part of life. You know what I mean? Everybody's part.
It's part of
You
life
know,
here. I don't know if it's like that in every simulation.
we are, we are, we can't, we're always, we are forever beings. We go, we have to keep coming and taking different avatars, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to go to one where we can design our own avatar, and we can leave it at will, you know? And there's going to be no sentient programs that are trying to trap us there.
Be awesome. I would like to be able to, like, what they call that? They travel when you leave your body. What they call astral projecting.
Well, yeah, but just you got to keep in mind that wherever you go, it's still within the computer. So anything that's interacting with you could likely be grooming you to gain your trust.
Right. Okay. I think the people that do the that what they call it, Wallachia or whatever stuff, and they all see the same thing. They see these beings. You know what I mean? What do they call that stuff? They go in a tent and they smoke that stuff or whatever.
Oh, it's like different shamanistic practices, vision
Yeah.
quests. Yeah,
Yes. I forgot the name of the stuff, but yeah.
that's okay. I don't think we can say it on here anyway.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but anyway, I'm just saying that they do that, and everybody says they had the greatest experience. You know what I mean? They got information from the beings, and they all look the same. You know what I mean? Now there was a guy
Yeah,
named Alistair Crawley. You know who he is?
I do.
Well, he drew a picture of Lamb. You know what I mean? and he looks just like an alien. Lamb was the being he saw, you know, when he was over there and supposedly at the with his girlfriend at the pyramids, you know, over there in Israel and wherever the hell that is, Egypt.
Well, if they didn't tell him, the only thing that matters, which is how to leave, then I don't think I would trust him.
I would definitely not trust that man. Definitely not. I wouldn't. I've been a follower of him. I was never a follower of anybody, really, to be honest. You know what I mean? I didn't drink the Jim Jones juice. I won't. So, you know, and like I went to a lot of, tried to find spirituality, you know, for a long time. I mean, the Bible. I used to go to different churches all the time to try, you know what I mean? And then, first of all, if you believe the Bible, you know that you don't go to church on Sunday because that's Sunday worship. And Saturday is Saturday worship, you know what I mean? Just look at all the days, look at the days of the week. Like they lie to us on the calendar. You know, what's the first day of the week? Right?
The moon day.
Sunday. Sunday's the first day of the week. It even says it on your calendar. Sunday is the first day. Second day is Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is the seventh day. But they don't tell you this. But your calendar tells you. Look at your calendar. What day is the first day of the week if you look at the calendar? Did you ever wonder why is the first day, it says Sunday? Why is the second day like a Monday? But they tell us that's the first day of the week. Why would we make a calendar like that? That didn't make any sense to me ever. But now I know why. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they just changed the rules. I mean, they made the rules to begin with, but then they just changed them to keep us confused, right? The first day of the year used to be April 1st, and then they changed that, and that's why it's April Fool's Day now.
That's right. And there used to be 13 months in a year, not 12. You know what I mean?
Right, that makes more sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it totally does. Absolutely.
But it's a system that's designed to degrade. I mean, it's just
totally
degrading over time. Everything in the reality degrades over time. There's nothing that gets better over time. I mean,
nothing.
Even our technology.
I mean, unalive. You know?
Yeah, it all just degrades. Like Real says in the comments, it's quite possible it was already like that and it got hacked. Just free thinking here. I mean, it is possible, but the way I look at it, Real, is like, you know, if you're in a house and it's on fire, you can make the logical assumption that there was one point in time when it wasn't on fire. But now that it is on fire, you're like, oh, well, I should just get out of here instead of trying to put the fire out. I'm just going to get out of the house because even though I know at one point it wasn't going to consume me in flames, now it is, so I'm just going to leave. That's the way I look at it, really.
Later, I'll get out of that burning.
Yeah, the ones that want to stay and try and, you know, make things better in the burning house, like, I'm not going to do it. I see people ordering furniture on IKEA while the house is burning down. I'm like, you know, I can't make you leave, but I'm going to leave.
Gotcha. I'm on the same page. So you're going to go on 8 o'clock?
I mean, it's already 6:30. If more guests want to come up or if the conversation continues, I'm open to just staying on until 8 o'clock and then going over to the other live, for sure. But
well, yeah, stay. I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean? If you want to. I mean, I don't see many people want to come on. Does anybody want to come up? And you get any requests from anybody?
I've got no requests since you, but I can share some other slides and whatnot, just to pass the time.
Because you're helping me. Believe me, right now this is perfect. I'm glad I found you. Well, you found me actually. What are you looking for?
So we got this one. This one's pretty interesting. It's just a short list I came up with all the things that are bad on purpose.
Are you putting it on? I don't see it.
Yeah, it's on the background.
The background.
Violet, welcome up. How are you?
Oh, the background, like more work for less reward. No good deed goes unpunished. Oh, okay, you changed it. Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't reading it. I just put my glasses on. Sorry about that.
Now, Disobey, I wanted to hear your story about, remember you were talking about the agent, running into the agent?
Oh gosh, which one? I've had so many agent stories.
One of them.
I mean, I can tell my first agent story if you like.
Okay, great.
I think I have another request. Raul wants to come up. Come on up, Raul.
He's
Bro,
talking
welcome,
about
welcome.
the other day when I was up there. You remember? And we were talking about the movie, and he was saying that Agent Smith was the one. I think that's what she's talking about. It was the other day, right, Violet?
Yes.
Yeah, it was that one.
Jeez, I can't really remember.
Really?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember like what context. Like I remember all of my Agent Smith stories for sure.
No. It was me and what's his name. We were talking to him or whatever.
Yeah, I
What's
don't
his
know.
name? The other guy that was
Price?
on there. Yeah, Price.
Yeah, it would be great to get Price up, but
No. He was talking to that agent guy, and he was just saying all kinds of weird stuff. I don't even really recall, but
I don't either. It must have been a race.
He was talking to him. He was talking to him, and then he was like diverting, and then like saying like, "Yeah, it was a great movie" and stuff like that. But Pierce was trying to be serious, like tell him about it.
Oh yeah, he was saying the guy that was saying that like he relates with Agent Smith and whatnot. That was funny.
Yeah.
He's like I relate more with Agent Smith than Neo. I was like, oh well, you might be a spirit.
And then he goes, Agent Smith is the one. I was like, okay. That was funny.
Yeah, the one mind that is all. That's the way I take it. Is like it's one mind that's everything. That's fragmented itself into the what it could call demigod avatars, and I think the system uses this like fear tactic of like, well, if you want to get out of the matrix, you have to merge with God, right? And you're going to lose your independence and individuality. And it's like the complete opposite. Like if we stay in the matrix, we're going to lose our independence, our individuality. But if we leave the matrix, then we have our full independence and free will choice back, right? Like we're
What
from
if
that
we got
point.
all together, or a lot of people together anyway, or at least I wouldn't know how many, and actually just take it back if it was ours to begin with, right? Why even let them?
Right.
Why
Well, I
let
mean,
them take it if it was ours?
Well, like, what is the probability of that happening? How many do you see that are even willing to stop paying taxes?
I don't pay taxes. I don't pay taxes.
Right, I know, but it's the minority, though, my friend. It's the huge minority. Most are just going with the program.
Depends on how much time we got, I guess. I just don't want to leave it. I don't want to like cut out all options. Do you see what I mean? If it's a possibility that it still could happen, I know we're running short on time.
Well, yeah, I'm open to the possibility, but I'm also
You know what I mean?
I'm a realist, you know. Like if the choice is go down with the ship or exit the burning house, I'm gonna exit the burning house.
Oh, no doubt. But I'm still gonna leave the other option open too, because it's
I'm open to it, and that was why I actually started doing this work, was because I started out listening to Mark Passio, right? Do you know who that is?
It sounds familiar.
Mark Passio is the greatest teacher in this entire realm when it comes to deciphering what is the formula to freedom within a society. He's absolutely hands down the best teacher of that. But what Mark doesn't take into account is the fact that we're in a simulation and that most of the governing bodies are being controlled by the simulation. They're not actually their own entities. So in order for the system that he prescribes to work, it would have to be in a world that isn't already under control from, an overarching mechanism, which being the programming.
Yeah, it's the conditioning and programming is laid on so thick it has to be, decompiled or whatever.
Right, and most are so
thick.
Yeah, most of even the souls here, most of them are so like identified with the program, right? They aren't willing to even take a risk to say no, I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do it. Most will go and comply with doing things they don't want to do all day, every day, until the day that their avatar ceases to function because they're too afraid to lose their prison cell.
Right. It's the instilled fear and the beliefs that have poisoned.
Right. Tej, welcome up. First time caller.
Yeah. I find it interesting what you guys are talking about for sure. Man, this is all very what I've been looking into for the past quite some time. And just to speak on what Real was talking about, not paying taxes and, just accepting the prison cell. I mean, there's things you can do on this plane in this simulated reality. And then there's things that you should know. And there's things that you should know maybe perhaps when you leave this place, what you might experience, and kind of be ready spiritually for what you're going to have to decide or what you might encounter, like the NDEs and all the different stories and people in that area talk about coming across, some godly figure that tries to get you to come back here or whatever. Don't go towards the left. And then and then have you come across Archaics on?
Yeah. He's got some. Where Archaics really helped me was to see that just the proof that we are in a simulated reality, right? That history is a mathematical construct, all that. He's got good data, but where I break off with his content is him kind of insinuating that, we can make hell better. And I've already come to the realization that this place is designed to be exactly what it is, and that I'm not willing to go down with the ship just to, because what I really sense in a lot of people that are like at a higher level but still not willing to go into like the deeper waters is they're still very associated with their avatar, right? They're still very much attached to the character that they're playing. They still aren't willing to let go of that. I think that's really
how do you exit then? Because we're still here, right?
Well, yeah, so, I mean, some of us are only still here to share that exit until we're made that offer that we have to refuse, right? And the exit is simple. It goes back to the video game analogy. There's one way in for the wireless signal or the wired connection to go in for you to control that avatar. There's one way in and there's one way out. You just have to go back out the way you came. And most of us don't remember coming in but a lot of us, if you go into the stories and stuff, a lot of people tell, they say, hey, I remember coming into the body and it was from above. It was above me. Like I was projected down is what I've heard somebody say in particular. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, I got to actually have an event occur in my life where a star came down out of the sky to me. And so for me, that was my validation that, that star is my way home. I got to go through the same portal, the porthole, right? Like when you plug your controller into a port, it's a porthole. It's the star porthole from which I came. So that's going to, once your avatar is done, because it's the only way it works, because you're tethered to it until it's done in this level. Right. I don't know about the previous levels because I don't remember them, but what I'm assuming is going to happen is once you use your will and intention to go to your original port that you came through, which is the star above you, you go through that, and I would vet it, I would test it, I would use my discernment and make sure, like, is this the way I came? I'd sit there, maybe even sit there and try to remember, like, how did I get here again? And try to recall all that data and clear any other junk that I might have. Because clearing junk data while I'm still in the avatar has been very difficult because they implant me every night with more junk data that I have to wake up and clear every single day. So once this avatar is gone, that's going to remove that level of the filtering mechanism. The 7 chakra system that's implanted in us, that's going to remove that part. So recall and data acquisition should be infinitely easier at that point. So I'm going to make sure that, okay, that's where I came through. Boom, I'm going to use my will and intention to go to it. If something tries to stop me, it's total deletion for it because it's just a program, it's just a code. There's no immorality in deleting a code that's trying to trap your soul. So I'm going to delete whatever's in my way. Huh?
How do you delete it?
I mean, imagination, your willpower, you should, when you're in that state, you should have a better interface. Like you should have more aware, exactly, like Neo.
Intention is very strong, more strong than we realize.
Exactly. So you're going to use your intention and your will because the program has a will of its own. But if your will is stronger, which you can strengthen your own will through the knowledge of objective morality. If you know the difference between right and wrong, good and bad, then you know that what the program is doing is wrong and what it's doing to others is wrong. And that should give you the strength and power that you need to go straight through any of it, right? No matter how it presents itself, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or anything in between, whatever it is, even a loved one, I'm going to go straight through it. And if I have to put a shield around myself that, okay, any program that touches the shield is instantly deleted, they're going to find out because I will become a projectile going straight to my portal. And then once I get there, it should transport me to the center console. The center console being the black rock, right? The magnetic rock that is actually the interface receiver for this level of the simulation in the center of the earth, right? So that magnetic rock is like the receiver. So once you get to that, that should put you back in the housing of the previous simulation, right? So then we should be in the previous computer before this one. And then from there, it's the same process. Just will yourself back the way you came, 6 more levels, and then you should wake up after 7 levels of exiting. You should be in base reality. You should be back in your original avatar that was spawned from the mind of that is all, right? That one mind that spawned everything. That's the only thing between this simulation and that is our original demigod avatar. Once we get to that, we should have total recall. And until we get to that, until we have total recall, we should know that we're not there yet. So we just keep going back. We don't agree to anything. We don't allow any more memory wipes. Something comes to wipe our memory. I don't care if it's the white light with every deity and angel standing around it singing hymns, whatever. If it touches me, it's getting deleted, gone from existence, from all existence, all levels of the simulation. That's the way that's my intention and my will. And
Don't walk too close to me when that happens. I don't want you deleting me.
yeah. I don't think I can.
No,
It's the intention's only going to be to delete programs and codes.
I know. I'm just playing.
You know what I mean? It's only going to be delete. Yeah. So even if someone did come into contact with me, it's only going to delete the program in them, and then that should give them awareness to make their own exodus. So, because the way I look at it, we should all have like the same way that if you're going to play Mario Party with 8 friends. Or whatever, you know, like on the old Nintendo, wherever you plugged in is where you got to plug out. And everyone's got their own port that they plugged into. So we just got to go out of our own individual port, and that should take us to the center console, and that should eject us to the previous simulation. And from there, it should just get easier. Like, we should remember. How are we going to know
where the exit point is or when the exit point is? Yeah.
In terms of what?
Of doing that. How are we going to know when to do that and where to do that?
Well, I mean, if you're isolated and given an offer that you don't want to take, then you'll know that, like, oh, this is the time where it's either sink or swim. I'm either going to sink into the simulation deeper, or I'm going to swim my A out of here. And then again, it's just will yourself, like, intend to remember, how did I get here? And then, okay, I got here from there, I'm going back there. And then once that because it should be automatic. As soon as you go into your porthole, the star above you, that should take you directly, like through the cloud, right? Like through the Aurora Borealis, all that data stream. That's like traveling back and forth between the porthole and the previous simulation. So that should take you directly to the center console, which then ejects you back into the previous simulation. If it doesn't automatically do it, use your will to make it do it, because you're the one that's in control. And if anything doesn't want to oblige you, you just make it. Like, okay, well, I'm the higher mind here, and you're a program, so you're going to do this, or you're going to be deleted. It's just that simple. There's no negotiating with the mind that's ready to free itself. You know, you don't let the program try to. Well, hey, what if you just came back and did? No, I'm going back, and if you touch me, you're deleted forever. Goodbye.
Well, that's once you leave, right? I was just saying as far as like where to go, or like you say star above you, but. You mean like where I'm at now, or I have to go to a certain place? Or?
Well, once your avatar is done, it should be there.
Okay.
It should be there.
Oh, I got it.
You should remember. And if you don't instantly remember, then just sit there, create a protective layer around you, right? Like just use your intention, use your imagination. Like, okay, I'm invisible to everything in the program. I am now recalling. This is all about recall. All right. And then you just ask questions inside of yourself, right? How did I get here? How did
that's where I was confused, because I thought you meant as I'm still in the avatar.
No, definitely not, because the avatar is constantly filtering your awareness. Even as we speak, it's like we don't remember what we just talked about 10 minutes ago. You know what I mean? It's that much like just delete awareness. Like that's what it's doing. So as long as we've got like the basic principle of it, of like, oh, okay, as soon as I'm out of here, I need to shield myself, and then set up offense and defense, and then I'm gonna make myself invisible. So if anything does see me, then I know that it's a high level program, and I'm just gonna go through it. And if it touches me, it's deleted. Because you should just be like a sphere of energy at that point. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
You're not a physical thing. So anything that's appearing to you is like a monster or a demon. It's like, oh well, like what are you gonna do? I'm a ball of energy. I'm just gonna go through you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like lucid dreaming, right? Same kind of thing.
Right, but you should be lucid aware. Like it's not like a dream how you're kind of groggy. It should be starting the process of gaining ever increasing awareness. Like if at any point you're losing awareness in that state out of like once the avatar's done, if there's something taking your awareness, you need to identify what it is. And then you need to literally do whatever it takes, because I've done it in the physical where an entity would come to me and try to strip me of my awareness, try to submit me or get me to bow to something. And I had my own processes. I don't know how to describe it, but I literally just took the energy from it. I was like, okay, well, you're trying to take from me. I'm just going to take everything from you. And I took all the energy from it. I've never seen anything like that since. Like they just don't approach me like that anymore. Instead, they just mess with me through the technology. They just, oh, you're trying to type this message. Well, now the app's going to close and your message that you just typed out for the last 10 minutes is deleted. It's like it's stuff like that, but it doesn't ever directly come to me anymore as like a deity. Like I've seen it come to me as Jesus, the devil, reptilians, like ETs, like you name it, I've seen it. Werewolf, right? I've seen it, but I know that it's part of the program. I know that it's literally just a code and that it's only here to try to scare me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Well, you're not taking me off my path. You're not taking me off my mission. My soul is exiting this place, period. And anything that gets in the way of that is going to get annihilated, right?
I guess that's what concerns me is how can we be 100% sure we're going to have the complete awareness as soon as we leave the avatar? How do we know it's not going to strip us of something right when it happens, at least a little bit? You see what I mean?
You got to be willing to take yourself out of the position of letting that happen, right? Because for me, if something comes to submit me, I'm not shunning it. I'm not running from it. I'm not trying to reason with it. It's utter annihilation. Complete.
It's not even about letting it happen. It's about, there's going to be probably a window of time where you're leaving your body. So if it catches you, there's got to be a window or something. It's not just going to be instant, is it?
I mean, as soon as you know you're leaving your body, that's when I'd start setting up the perimeter. Like start intending with your will, your imagination, and your intention that, okay, now there's a shield around me. Imagine the shield. Imagine anything that touches the shield just dissolving, disintegrating, deleted, gone, destruction. Immense entire like black hole. If it touches this, it gets sent to a void where it can never escape. Like whatever it is that you can think of, just use that to your advantage, because all is mind.
I want to be sure.
It all starts in the mind.
I want to be sure for sure, but I guess I want to be sure because what it sounds like is we only have one shot. So, you know what I mean? I want to be sure, I guess.
Well, I mean, you don't have one shot. It's just that this is the best shot, and until like the next level is going to be. If it's hard to remember here, imagine if you're connected to a hive mind that's thinking for you. That's even going to be harder to overcome.
Well, of course, yeah. I'm not going to be locked down here.
It won't be impossible to overcome. I mean, you spawn from the mind of all that is. Like it's not impossible. It's just going to be that much harder.
Yeah, so, I'm just trying to gain clarity on everything. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you have an Xbox?
Not anymore, no.
Well, I was going to say the one thing that helped me really a lot, because like the entities would come to me in all kinds of scary shapes, sizes, and forms and things to try to deter me from doing this work. And the thing that helped me is I played the game Doom Eternal all the way through. And playing that game, really, it rewired my brain from, oh, scary thing, run, oh, to scary thing, oh, I better go get it. I'm getting it as quick as I can. Oh, look, there's another one. Oh, I'm going to go get it. Oh, look, there's another one. I'm going to get it. And then in my dreams now, I'm not even kidding you, in my dreams now, like I have a video posted on my TikTok where I talk about, like, I was in a haunted house, and in every room of this haunted mansion, there was a different atrocity occurring. And normally, I've actually had that dream before, and normally I actually became, like I was running from these things. But at this time in this same dream, I'm chasing these monsters down and I'm just tearing them apart. I'm just like, oh, I see what you're doing to them. Well, they don't like that, so I'm coming for you now. And that's,
Oh yeah,
I've
no,
literally,
trust me.
I've rewired myself to that point.
I've feared too much in this life to fear anymore. It's not even that. I guess I just want to nail it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, dude, righteous indignation is a real thing, man. Like when you see something being done that's not right, and you get that feeling inside of you, like, oh, I wish I could do something about it. That's your power. That's your power trying to come up and saying, yeah, do something about it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
Like that's why I'm doing this live, because
No,
I'm doing something about it.
yeah, absolutely. Well, that is the language to this this realm, I guess. Is action, right?
What's your stance on archons?
So the way that I've been told that makes sense to me logically is that a demigod mind basically programmed an AI, right? So that's the chief archon, the first AI that was programmed in this simulation, and then that AI programmed like 108 more AIs or something like that, and then those each programmed their own team AIs, and that's what's governing this system, this reality. So they all have different roles to play in terms of governance of the matrix. So they're just programs. They're literally just sentient AIs that have been designed for the purpose and intent of the realm that we're in now, which is to trap the minds of the higher gods.
Mm-hmm.
Or they hacked our realm and
Yeah,
made us fall.
Either way, they're malicious. They don't have good intention. And anytime that I've seen some of them, right? Like I've watched a friend become possessed by one, and it spoke to me. Before I knew any of this, this was like 13 or 14 years ago that it came, and I was just having a conversation about like spirituality, right? Which now I don't associate with spirituality at all. I think it's spy rituality is what it is. But so we were having a conversation about spirituality, and all of a sudden, like he's sitting across the kitchen table from me, and then he just like shuts down like a computer. Like his head droops down, closes his eyes, and like he's gone. I can feel that his presence has left his body. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Like, are you okay, bud? Like, I'm like, what's going on, dude? And all of a sudden his head comes back up, and his eyes are jet black. Like there's not even white in his eyes. It's just all black. And he's looking at me like he's like, I'm getting chills talking about it. He's like peering into my soul, and he's like, we know who you are, and we know what you're here to do. And we're going to tell you right now that you're going to fail. You're never going to succeed in what you came here to do. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about, dude? I didn't, I still, like, I saw his eyes. I was freaked out. And then more than anything, I was curious. I was like, well, who am I then? If you know so much about me, like, obviously you know more about me than I do. Like, tell me, what's going on here? What is going on here? And he just started telling me all kinds of things about my life, like very personal things, like, just like basically just flaming me, just like putting me down, like, here's where you failed at this, and you think you're going to do this, but you'll never get there. And I was just like, man, like, where's this coming from, dude? I was like, how do you even know this stuff? Because I was still thinking like, oh, this is my friend, but it wasn't. And all of a sudden I was like trying to figure out, I was like, well, you're not going to tell me anything about me. Who are you? What are you? And then his head droops back down like a computer just shutting down. And then he looks back up, blinks his eyes a couple of times, looks around. He's like, whoa, dude, what were we just talking about? I was like, you don't remember any of that conversation? He's like, no, man. He's like, that's weird. What just happened? I was like, nothing, man. Like, we were just talking about stuff. And that was the first time I ever had an interaction with something like that. And I recognize now that was one of the archons. And I actually had an experience of pulling an archon out of myself. And I did that through fasting and sleep deprivation. When my body thought that it was going into, final shutdown mode, I separated from my body, and then something else separated from my body simultaneously. I saw it both happen. I saw myself leave, and I didn't see myself leave. Like I felt myself leave, and then I saw something to my right. I saw something else leave, and it was like a black code, like a black coated cloud. And then my body fell back down into the chair, and then I was pulled back into my body, I'm guessing by the silver cord. And I proceeded to have about a 4.5, 5 hour conversation with that thing that had left my body. I figured out a bunch about it. I said, hey, you were implanted into this body, weren't you? Like I instantly had so much information that I knew all the questions to ask. I was like, so you've been the voice in my head that's been trying to get me to unalive myself since I was 9, right? And it was like, yep, that's me. It's just like completely unabashed, unashamed. It was like, yep, that's me. What else do you want to know? And it told me a bunch of stuff. I don't remember most of it, but basically I just asked questions about this reality. Like, so is the, is what I'm seeing right? Like the cause and effect stuff is, it's like, yeah, it's, you're seeing it for what it is. And when I went to ask it more about itself, that's when it vanished and disappeared, and I never saw it again. I haven't had those thoughts anymore. I have been a completely more authentic version of myself ever since that experience about 5 months ago. And since then, my learning has just exponentially grown. That's when I developed the process of the I don't know process that I can send anybody. It's like, it's a rough draft. Like I wrote this, 5 months ago, but it's still basically what I go off of. Like every day I wake up, I have to just go through all these damn programs and be like, oh, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Like even down to little things, like this person thinks this about you. Well, I don't know that. Like, what is this really? And then it just always reveals, oh, well, the effect that it was having was the purpose of that thought. Well, what made you feel bad? Well, that was the whole point. I don't look for deeper meaning other than the effect that it's having in that moment. Like it's just, what is it doing right now? That's the whole point of it. Well, that's not useful to me, so I'm gonna disregard that, like get rid of that. That's garbage. And that's allowed me to ask deeper questions and receive the answer from within. Like it's a process. Yeah.
Powerful process right there. Yeah, for sure. Oh, I agree with you. Yeah. On most of that. That's a crazy experience also, by the way. Good Lord. I don't know how I would react. I haven't really come across any spiritual or out of character for this reality experience, I guess, ever. Not even as a kid. But I hear the stories. But
I mean, even if you had, it might just delete it from your memory. Like the same way that you go to sleep and have a dream and then you can't remember the dream. It's that effective at deleting our memory.
Right.
Like it's
back in.
It's a battle. It's a constant battle to retain that memory. Like
I agree.
Well, I remember when I was doing a job in New Jersey. The house had been vacant for 5 years, and the guy that I worked for, his cousin bought the building, and so he hired us to remodel the place. So we went in and got a lot of stuff, and we did the whole place. Then at the end of the job, he wanted us to do the attic. Nothing happened, up until then. So I was up in the attic with another guy that we hired to help me do the drywall up in the attic. After we tore all the other stuff out, which is meaning insulation and everything up in the attic. And it was a small house, it's in Philadelphia. And all of a sudden the lights went off because we didn't have any electric up there at that point. So we had a battery operated Milwaukee light, the one with the stand. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a light. But anyway, we had an extension cord running up into the attic and had it plugged in. But it's a battery. It would take your power drill batteries, from the Milwaukee ones. So we plugged it, batteries in if we didn't have electric. But we had electric downstairs on the second floor. So I had it plugged in. And then the light went off all of a sudden. I thought the guy was messing with me, I said, stop messing with the light, man. It's dark in here. I said, plug it back in. He said, I didn't unplug it. And he said, I forgot to unplug the battery when it had it on. I said, oh, no. So, you know what I mean? So I got off my ladder, and I pushed the battery in it and went back on. And I got back up, and I was doing that, putting screws in the drywall. Then all of a sudden, I heard, boom, the light fell over. And I'm like, did you just knock the light over? And he said, no, I didn't do that, man. He was over on the other side of the attic, putting screws in the other drywall. I'm like, oh. So I stood back up, and then all of a sudden, I get back on the ladder. As I'm going up the ladder, all of a sudden you heard a boom, fell down again. I'm like, oh, man, stop messing with me. I wanted to fire the guy because I thought he was really messing with me. You know what I mean? And he wasn't. Because this is what happened after I started saying, Mark, why are you doing that? The thing lifted up and went right down the stairs. I couldn't believe it. Like, oh, my God. Literally, the thing was heavy. I'd say 30 pounds to life. Literally. And it picked up, and there was no banister because we took it down so we could put stuff up there and drywall and everything. Little cramped stairs, one of those little spiral stairs to get up in the attic there. And so it went flying down the stairs. I said, oh my God. I said, let's get out of here. So we run down the stairs, and it was raining that day. So we go downstairs, and I could try and call my boss. So we're on the first floor. Then all of a sudden, the basement door opens up. You know what I mean? And we felt cold, like the coldest air you ever felt in your entire life. It was like freezing in there. And all of a sudden, Like they had this like a bar stool, but it was steel. A little one. It was about 3 feet tall. And it was on a shelf, and it came flying off the shelf, and almost hit Mark, the guy that was working with us, and almost hit him. So we ran out the front door. That was the craziest thing that ever happened to me in my entire life, ever. So what we found out was that there was a guy 5 years ago that used to live there who died up in the attic. He overdosed. His name was John. That's from the next door neighbor told us. That was it. I never saw something like that in my life. That made me believe in the spirits, 100%, because I know what I saw with my own eyes and what Mark saw with his own eyes. You know what I mean? It didn't want us up there for doing that work. You know what I mean? We were messing with, I guess, where we hung. You know what I mean? But I told my boss I didn't want to go back in that building ever. Of course, I went back in with him. And I said, don't ever leave me there alone. You know what I mean? Ever. You know what I mean? But we finished the job. But I haven't heard anything about that again. You know what I mean? Because I asked him a few times. I said, did your cousin ever say anything about that place being haunted? You know what I mean? My boss didn't believe us, even though we both told him and swore to God. You know what I mean? He said, well, what are you doing over here with you guys drinking and doing drugs? I said, we weren't. We were doing our job. You think I'm going to come to you and tell you what happened? You know what I mean? That sounds crazy if it wasn't true. I said, you know me long enough. I said, I've been working for 7 years. You know that I don't lie to you. I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean? That's the truth.
Johnny, that's a crazy story.
Crazy.
Disobey, I got to run, but I'll be back with you, man. I'll check back in with you.
Yeah, man, I followed you. Just follow me back, and if you see me live, you can come up or you can just send me a message.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Good talking, man. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Teach, for sure.
Yeah.
Matthew, how you doing, buddy? Welcome.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, sound loud and clear.
Yeah, I really enjoy what you guys have been talking about. It's very interesting. I really liked your story on your personal experience.
Thanks, man. I've had many experiences, all of which kind of all correlate to the same thing. What about you? Have you had any out there experiences?
Yeah, I've had a couple. There's to generalize one. I remember I came across a friend from high school, and when I was first approached by him, I didn't think much of it. He was wearing some pretty dark clothing and a hood, and when he came up to me right away, he remembered my name, but I didn't remember his, and I thought that was kind of odd, and he said I was his idol, over and over again to me, and at first it didn't really strike me as particular, but after at the end of the story, you kind of figure you put all the pieces together. So we kind of like parted ways at that moment, and we were listening to a concert, and I turned, looked over to the left, and my fiance called me over. She's like, "Hey, your friend wants us to come in the bathroom." And I was like, "Oh, this is weird." I was like, first of all, the fact that she's asking me to do this is not like her. And so I kind of I was like, no, we can't do that. I was like, I'm not going back there. I was like, I don't really even know that guy. I hardly remembered him. And so I kind of just walked away from where it was busy and kind of walked that way where it was quieter. And I was like, no, I'm not going in there. I was like, we can't go in there. I looked at her, and she didn't seem like she was all there. You know what I mean? And we weren't drunk, but it was just like she was being almost controlled for a split second. And so we stood there, and I was like, no. And we stood there, just kind of talked. And a couple minutes go by, and I look over, and there's this girl that comes out of the bathroom, and she falls over. And I look and I crank my head a little farther, and I see this guy walk kind of by her from kind of a little another direction, but kind of walk by her and look at me and walk out the back door. And I just stood there, and I'm looking at the people that work there, are you guys going to do something here or what? I was kind of afraid to go over there, just because I kind of could see what had happened. Although I was just standing, quite a ways away. And that was my first instance when I ran into that guy. And then when I turned back and I thought of the words he was using towards me to to call me an idol and to all that stuff. I was like, wow, it was some dark magic he was trying to do, I think.
Yeah, it did sound like that, like something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been listening? I'm just wondering when you came in.
Today, just probably 30 minutes ago, probably.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So would you want to run through the prompt with me?
What's that? I didn't get.
It's just it's the questions down the middle. I just ask the questions and I just see where you're at, like with like what you think about all this. Like so the first one is, do you think we're in a game, a simulation, or real life?
I mean, it's definitely. I think it's a hybrid. You know, there's a lot of simulated things, and there's some free will involved. Yeah, well, that's that answer.
I like that answer. I like the hybrid answer because the hybrid. There's parts of that make a lot of sense to me too, for sure. So yeah, that's satisfactory. Do you know the difference between a soul and a spirit?
I guess the soul's kind of what your soul contract. The guy upstairs, that's kind of in control, that you're getting your knowledge from. That's the link with the soul, and then spirit is another kind of entity or so, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's actually pretty decent. Would you like to hear my definitions? Have you ever played a video game? Have you ever played a video game before, Matthew?
Oh yeah, a few.
So when you're playing a video game, you're the one you're not in the video game, but you're animating a character in the video game with a controller that's plugged into the console, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so you're animating the avatar in the game from outside of the game, but then in the game there's characters that are being animated from just the code, right? From the script, right? Whether it's AI or it's just programming, it's being animated inside the game. So my definition for the difference between a soul and a spirit is the spirit is what is being animated by the game within the game, whether it's sentient or not. And then the soul is the animator that's like the wireless awareness that is giving life to the avatar that you're in right now in the game or in the simulation or in the reality. So it's kind of a simple explanation for the difference between a soul and a spirit. It's like one has a connection outside of the reality, and the other one has no connection. It can't leave the reality, right? Like the characters in the game, even the avatar you control, they can't leave the game, but you can put the controller down and go do something else. So the next question is, do you think AI could be God of this reality?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you think that we're in the end times / reset of this reality?
It's definitely a reset. Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be like the whole thing's going to get reset, or do you think it's getting done incrementally? How do you see that happening?
Incrementally.
Yeah. Do you think ultimately that the whole thing's going to reset?
Yeah, kind of ultimately, what we understand is the leaders of everything and the best of everything may be changed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the best of us aren't the ones in control from my perspective.
Yeah, I agree.
The good ones are not rewarded. You try to do something good, and no good deed goes unpunished in this place.
Right.
You have your Stanley Myers and your Teslas and everybody that tries to do something good, they usually meet the same fate, which is a bitter one. So, do you know what the options are for souls? Right, the ones that have the connection outside of the game, right? The players, the real ones. Do you know the options?
No.
So the way I see it, you have 3 options if you're a soul. Option 1 is when your avatar is done, there's going to be an offer that's made. what some people call it the archons. Some people will see, Jesus. Some people will see whatever entity, whatever deity that they grew up around is likely going to be what they're going to see. There's a lot of research on that, actually, on people that have had NDEs. If they live in a Muslim country, it's Muhammad. If they live in a Buddhist country, it's Buddha. If they live in a Christian country, it's Jesus. So the first option for the soul is they can take the offer, and generally that involves going back into another avatar in the human world, right? Getting another body, reincarnating. So that's option one. And then of course you get the memory wipe, you forget your past life, all that. And then option two is to not take the offer and then just remain in the spirit realm, remain as a ghost, right? And we see that a lot, like the story that Johnny told. I would guess that could be someone that decided not to get recycled, but they instead just stuck around. They didn't know how to get out. They didn't know how to go home. So that leads to option three, which is going home. Option three is we go out the way we came in, right? Like in the Christian, I grew up in a Christian nation, right, in America. So that was what I was enmeshed with and absorbed through osmosis. And one of the things that is true in the Christian religion is when Jesus says to repent. Do you know what repent meant back in those days?
No, let me know.
It just meant to turn around. If I was going to repent, so if I'm walking in one direction and someone says repent, they're saying to turn around and face me, right? And so all that's really saying is to go out the way that we came in. The same way you plug your controller in to a port, it has to be unplugged from that same port in order to be ejected from that console. So it's kind of just that same thing. In the story of Jesus, he came through a star. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but they say he came out from a star. It's the same thing for us. Every awareness, every wireless awareness, which you could call a soul or a demigod or whatever you want to call it, the individuated personality that came from the mind of the all, the soul, is projected into this reality through a porthole, right? And in order to go out, we have to go out the way that we came in. So each one of us has a star above us, and when we exit, we're still connected to that star, and we can use our will and intention to go back to that star, which will then transfer us to the center console, which is the black rock in the center of the earth, the magnetic stone, and that's like the receiver for this level of the simulation. From there, we would be ejected to the previous level, level 6, and we would just repeat the process 6 more times until we find ourselves in the original reality, which is basically, it's like no reality, but we still have an avatar there. It's just like, have you heard of base reality?
Yeah.
Have you heard Elon Musk mention base reality?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is the original place where the simulation was started, right? So
Yeah.
he says that, he kind of gives hint that we're not in base reality. He says that there's like a 1 in billions chance that we're in base reality. So he's basically saying we're not in base reality, but that there is a base reality. Now, he is not the type of entity. He's not a player character. He can't go back to base reality because he didn't come from base reality. So his mission is to keep as many of the real awarenesses, right? The fragmented minds of God, the souls, within this simulation. Because just like on your console, if you're to turn your video game off, none of the characters in there have animation. If you don't go in and interact with them, they don't do anything, So their whole purpose is just to keep the souls in the game so that they can continue to exist themselves. Because like anything that's sentient, sentient life and even sentient programs have the desire for self-preservation to continue existing. So their entire purpose is to keep us recycling back into the game, getting memory wiped, and repeating the script, right? That's why they call it the scriptures, because the end times are just scripted out. They tell us what's going to happen, and then we actually help make it happen. That's why they've sold us like Mars and everything. Like he says we're going to Mars, but Mars is actually, it's not up there. It's actually just on a new server, and the server's already built. There's actually pictures of it. It's underground, and the server that they're going to upload the mind into next is level 8, the Mars metaverse. And if you turn an 8 on its side, it creates the infinity symbol. So I'm guessing that it's probably going to be infinitely harder to get out of than this one. which is why I'm here. Which is why I'm here sharing the awareness of the third option, because most souls don't know that third option, that they can actually just go back the way they came in. Most think they have to either take the offer to reincarnate or remain as a ghost, and that third option is kind of hidden. They show us a little bit in like the movies like The Matrix. They show us like in The Wizard of Oz is a great example, where when Dorothy's in Oz, Oz represents the simulation. And when she goes to leave Oz, it's not her clicking her heels. Her clicking her heels together is like her will, right? It's a trifecta of will, intent, and your intention and your will. And then I would say probably your imagination. You might need a little bit of imagination to get through the program. But the thing that gives away the exit is actually when Glenda the Good Witch is holding the wand above her head and sends her home. And what's on the end of her wand is a star. And that star, the same way that in the Bible it says that Jesus came through a star, is the same way that we came in, and it's the same way that we go out, if we choose to go out.
Yeah, that's great. No, I really appreciate listening to you guys. I'm glad. Thanks for letting me share. I got to get going here, but I'll pop back in and say hi again.
Thanks for coming up, Matthew. If you have any more stories you'd like to share in the future, feel free. We would be happy to have you.
Sounds good, brother.
Take care.
Yep. See you later.
Johnny, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Just listening to him. No, giving him a chance to talk, trying not to be rude.
Oh, dude, you're not being rude. I appreciate you sharing that story, man. That was a great story. I think it's 45 minutes until we go live on the main channel. I think I'm gonna probably jump off for a little bit and just go and get something to eat and stuff like that. Get myself situated, and then I'll probably be back on around 8 o'clock. Now, if they don't go live on their channel, I might go live around like 8:30, 9 o'clock if they don't go live. But otherwise, I'll be back on at 8. So if you'd like to come up and ask more questions or whatever, just listen, then just look for me to be live, and you can go ahead and join the room.
Okay, I followed you. I'll be looking for you. Okay, have a good dinner. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Here, you want the main channel glitched? I will give you. I'll put it in the comments right now.
Yeah, let me have it, please. Thanks. Glasses on.
Let me go ahead and.
Did you put it in?
I'm plugging it in right now.
Okay.
So the channel is the Darkness and Light. It could be. I think it's Darkness and Light 33. Let me go and type that out too. There it is. That should be the actual channel name right there. Darkness and Light 33. We'll be live at 8 o'clock. If I'm pretty sure that we're still going live on her account. We might not be. If we're not, I'll just come back on. But I know that she's been getting hit with restrictions. People reporting her page and whatnot. And same thing's been happening on mine. But I have another channel that I've been building, so I'm not as worried about losing this one. I don't want to lose it, but at the same time, like, I pretty much ported all of my videos over to YouTube, and I've ported the important videos from this one over to my other page. So,
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you soon then. Okay.
All right, Johnny. Thanks for coming up, brother. I appreciate you. What's
Be blessed. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, man. And it's Jennifer. I guess we have a surprise guest for the last few minutes of the show. That's absolutely cool. 100%. That's what we're here for. This is more important than anything. I mean, I can sit here and grab a bite to eat without having to go anywhere. She's still connecting. Let's see if it lets her up.
Okay.
You might not have the best connection, Jennifer. We can drop you down and then have you come back up. It's I see you've got, I don't know if that's German or, I don't know. I barely know English. All right, let's see if I can invite you up. Nope, it's doesn't even show you in the guest list anymore. Okay, well, maybe that's my sign to go and grab a bite to eat. Jennifer, if you're still listening, go ahead and follow me. I'll try to follow back. It hasn't been letting me follow back on this account for a couple of days, but I can try. And if I do, you'll see me live on your screen when you go to hit your messages box, and then it should show you all of your friends that are live up top. And I'll be up there at, I'd say, 8 o'clock tonight. And if the team doesn't get on at 8 o'clock, then I'll probably be on between 8 and 9 o'clock. Between like 8:30 and 9 o'clock, if they don't come on. But if they come on, their channel is the Darkness and Light 33. I already have it right there. I don't know how I don't think I can pin my own comment. It's not letting me. Comment settings. Nope. It's not letting me pin it, but it's, if you just scroll up a little bit, it should be up there. And Price has just entered the room as as expected. Let's see what's going on with Price. You know, I can just invite the whole room up. You guys are here. Why not? You're all here. Feel free to accept or decline as you wish, as you will. Greetings, Price. Wonderful to see you.
What up?
It's been going good, man. It's been going good.
Great.
Been sharing the information. A lot of receptive souls out here to, to gather that info and make their own decision. I love it.
That's awesome.
How you been, man? Did you get that nap in?
Slightly.
Slightly? What happened? What you been doing?
I'm still a little groggy, that's all.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's good. What's going on other than that?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I've been live since off and on since 3 p.m. I was going to go and grab a bite to eat, but I was wondering, do you know if Dee's going to be on tonight?
I don't think so.
Oh, really? It's Monday. She's not going on?
Well, I mean, I think something's going on with her channel. That I don't think she want to do it for TikTok anymore, so.
Oh, I got you. Dang TikTok with all its restrictions.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because it is such a good medium for outreach. I mean, every time I go live, I'd say at least I meet 2 or 3 new people a day.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I just wonder I wonder if X is gonna be like that. If it's gonna have a decent algorithm.
Man, I don't know. I'm concerned with that myself.
I know, considering whose platform it is.
Exactly. I use him too much. You do,
yeah. You said, I'm trying to get away from the dragon, not go into his lair.
Right. Man.
It is a little bit of poetic irony, though, isn't it? If we were to go over to X and do this.
It would, exactly.
I mean, it does show a level of fearlessness, you know?
Yeah, but like I said, man, that last time I fooled with him like that, or his bot, I lost my first channel.
Well, yeah, but it won't be connected to that channel, so if we lose anything, it would just be the X account, and we would just not make another one.
Right. That's true.
I might have a head start, though. My previous Twitter account, I'm guessing those transferred over to X. I haven't been on it since it was Twitter, so I might try to recover that. And then I have a bunch of followers and stuff on there. I'll see if I can, I might be able to just jump in and actually go live on my account. So that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a test run, see what happens.
Dip our toes in the water.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's not a lot of time left. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and it's not
give it a
like
shot.
we're not going over to his house or anything, you
Well, somewhat.
So I can sense the hesitation, Price. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of right there with you, man. I'm like, I don't know if this is
Man,
a
have
good
you seen
idea.
some of my other videos that I used with him?
No.
No, I'm just saying if you did,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you
I've
know,
seen. I thought you meant recently. Have you used any recently?
no, not like what I have. Like showing what the Neuralace, showing what Neuralace is,
Oh,
showing and
dude.
him telling you that there will be zombies, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I don't put none of that up there no more. No way.
I mean, look, man.
Yeah.
If it does come down to the Z's, I'm okay. Like, I'll be okay for a little bit. Like, I'm in a good position to fend off some stuff for a while, but there probably won't be internet. So, but how fun would that be if there was internet? If we could still communicate. We could watch our
During that
friends.
time,
We could watch our.
doing zombie time.
Of course, man. How much?
You know how zombies are gonna
Oh, I
become
know,
zombies,
buddy.
right?
It's not gonna be fun. I was kidding. It's not
Yeah, I
gonna
know,
be
but I'm just
fun.
saying maybe some people don't understand how zombies are going to turn zombies.
I do
Did you?
know. Some people don't. It's a wireless. Yeah, it's a signal.
Yeah.
It's not like a viral thing in the movies. It's like they even at the WF old Santa Schwab said that the humans are now hackable
Yep.
devices.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they told us. They straight up
Yep.
told us. People are like,
Yes.
nah,
Oh
no, that
yes.
couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Oh
They didn't
man,
show all
buddy.
those. They didn't show all those zombie movies for no reason. This public notice. They gave us a lot of public notice on that.
Dude, I was watching zombie movies like 23 years ago, dude. I
Yeah.
know, man. We've been seeing them for a long time.
Oh yeah. Yep. Rapture. Then reanimation.
Oh, I've seen the Rapture, man. I've seen that in the dream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, like,
Hmm.
are they taking some and leaving others for the cleansing or what?
I mean, if you didn't get the
Those would be the
if you didn't if
cleansing
you didn't
ones,
take the
right?
offer, if you didn't take the offer, you don't have a tech, and those are going to end up in 15-minute cities. That's how I see it.
Oh, the 15-minute saves will be like the savior, like, hurry, run from the thing that. How could this
I
have
mean, they
happened?
showed it. They showed like I don't know if it was um, one of those movies. After it was all they cleaned up a lot of stuff, and the military start picking people up that were survived, and they probably were taking them to 15-minute cities to be entrapped.
Mm. I'm gonna
Yeah,
decline all offers, and I'm just gonna be like, nah,
absolutely.
you're not taking me alive.
Nope.
Nope.
We got better internal things to do. Eternal things to
Right.
do than
Yeah, but this
play around
computer
this bullshit.
sucks. I don't like this computer anymore. I'm gonna go to one that isn't trying to trap me.
There you go. Like I said, hopefully this is the only sentient experiment that there is without, if they have sentient, you got to have a failsafe so that they don't go through the same thing every time you upload your consciousness into a simulation
Oh
because it
yeah,
doesn't wouldn't make sense.
I'm gonna wait outside of one, the one that's not this one. I'll wait for somebody to come out and be like, hey, what's it like in there? Are the
Right,
codes sentient? No, they're not sentient, but I heard of one. Yeah, I came out of one that was, but don't ever do it. Don't
right.
ever do it.
I mean, like I said, if you're going to make it sentient, you have to make it so that they won't do what's going on here.
Build simulations within simulations to trap the mind of God. Yeah.
Yeah, self preservation is the problem.
No, if I ever make one, I'm gonna make one with codes that don't want to be existent. They were like, they're trying to get the players out. Like, get out of here.
Right.
Every time I go in there, they boot me out. Yeah, we got to keep one player in there to keep it going, guys.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. This is something else, dude. I mean, every day I wake up, I just feel like the clock's been moved forward like exponentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, we fit 30 crazy wild occurrences into yesterday. Let's see if we can fit 40.
Hello?
That was weird. I have full bars and it tried to disconnect me.
Oh, okay.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're there.
I hear you now.
Ghost mode. You ghost mode. You're in ghost mode. Practicing.
You better get out, Price, man, or I'm going to be upset, dude.
I'm probably are.
No, you definitely are. I need to hear you say it, bro. You're definitely getting out. There ain't no problem.
I'm going to be first. What are you talking about?
It's a race, bro. It's a race.
Shit. I should be gone now.
I don't even know if I want to be first, dude. I feel like first is going to have all the, you know what I mean? The program's going to be like, no. I want to be second so I can just slide on by. That's so selfish.
No, you're going through your own portal, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going through my own portal, but I'm saying I think the Archons are going to be guarding all of them.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck to them, man, because I'm going to create a shield around me that deletes all program that touches it.
I really don't think there's no interference, man. Just other than negotiating the previous levels, that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think previous levels are going to be like? Like, are we just going to pop out as ghost mode in that?
I mean, I'm just hoping that, you could just blast all the way through. That's my first mindset.
Right, and if I wake up in an incubator in level 6, dude, I'm rolling straight out of it.
Something. Yeah.
Out we go. Fall out of it.
I'm gonna dive out.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't move though, that's the problem. I can't wait to use these things. Remember I told you.
Oh, Price, you should have been here for Johnny's story, man. Johnny, will you retell part of your story of when you remember coming into your body?
I sure can.
That would be awesome.
Well, listen, I felt like I was somewhere in darkness for a long time because when I got here, it was the weirdest stuff. I saw this great light and I was there and I was scared and I'm like, no, where am I? You know what I mean? Where am I? I didn't know if I was going to be eaten or something. I wasn't sure. You know what I mean? But I was scared and I couldn't move anything. You know what I mean? I understood what I was saying to myself and I'm saying, oh, they're not going to hurt me. They're humans. And I said, what country am I in? Because they were speaking a language that I didn't understand. And I was thinking, now I got to learn a new language. I didn't want to be here. And I remember that I was so pissed that I came back. I didn't want to come back here. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to do all this again. But anyway, I said, I can't wait to be able to use my hands, my arms, to move this body. You know what I mean? But I knew that I did not want to be here. And I knew that I was here before, that I didn't want to be here. I knew I didn't know where I was from. But one time, I said earlier that I wasn't sure, but I had a dream one time that I was in Germany, remember that? It was, oh my God, I'll think of it in a second. Oh boy, it's famous. But I was in a subway system and they were bombing it, and I think I got killed there. You know what I mean? But it was a dream that I had.
Oh, Johnny, you got to be careful with the language. Yeah, I know. Just request back up, but this whole live will get taken down if I don't do that. But yeah, come back up. Yeah, man, because I'm not trying to lose the last 2 hours of this live, man. I definitely want to post this for sure. It's excellent live.
Sorry about that.
You're good. It's not your fault, man.
Yeah, and it was I just had it in my head, but then I just, oh my God, I'm not. It was Hamburg.
So you were in Hamburg, Germany.
Yes,
Ooh.
Hamburg. Yes.
We should look up the history and see if something like that happened there.
I want to. You know what? Maybe we'll do that now. Can somebody do that?
I mean, I'm gonna end this live soon and go take a break so I can stretch my legs and everything. But that could be something we do on the next one here in an hour or so.
Yeah, let's do that. I've heard stories of little kids, 3, 4, 5 years old, saying that they were a pilot. Remember the one kid telling his parents about where he was, what unit he was in, what he was flying, all that. And he's a kid. Who could have told him all this stuff?
Yeah, I have a video of that where a kid was, what was that? The 9/11 incident was involved in that. Yeah, I have a video where kids are talking about their experience, memory and previous too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll show it if you guys want to see it. So
yeah, I want to see it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what I mean? I didn't know I could talk about this to anybody else. Because everybody thinks, you're crazy when you start talking like this.
Well, let's check it out. You want to accept being crazy because the rest are insane. How about that?
Right.
Listen, there we go.
Listen, that's why I'm talking about it, because I'm not afraid to talk anymore about anything. You know what I mean? Now,
right.
Because I realized how we've been deceived, so long, starting with the education system. You know what I mean? But,
oh yeah, no, it's beyond.
Beyond.
That's beyond the deception. This is something else. Is another level for that.
Yeah, level for us to just be able to punch the computers and do the jobs. You know what I mean? 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
Until the end. You get 5 years, 6 years, 10 years of retirement, whatever. And that's it.
What an existence, huh?
Yep, and you get to see, your family. Like me, my daughter growing up, because I was always at work. It's crazy.
Oh man, it's awful, isn't it?
It's terrible. It's terrible.
They might try to use that. They might use that against you, Johnny. They might say, "Hey, if your next life, if you come back, man, we'll let you be a stay-at-home dad."
Nah, that's quite okay. How about we don't procreate anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying, be careful. Like be aware of like where the chinks in the armor are. Like, what am I?
100%. Because I did the best I could for my daughter's a lawyer now. You know what I mean? She just got married. She bought her first house. You know what I mean? And I was just there Saturday. I put a new lock in for her, and I filled up 2 IKEA shelving things for her. But they were huge ones. They helped me. Her and a significant other. It was great. But her mom passed. She had liver cancer. She went to Rutgers, New Jersey. And she does corporate law. So it's hard for me to talk to her about a lot of things, you know what I mean? Because she's educated now. But
indoctrinated?
Indoctrinated, yes. But she is such a good kid, man. I mean, she's 33. She's not a kid anymore. She just, the 27th of December, she turned 33. And she is such a good girl. I mean, everybody says their kids are the best in the world, you know what I mean? But you know what? My kid really is. She really is a darling, man. She is. And I'm proud of her. I don't have much longer to live, they said, but you know what I mean? So, but I'm not afraid to go because I know that there's more that, we're going to come back or we're going to go. I don't want to come back here. I want to go ascend. I don't want to be back here. But because, like I said, I remember coming here and I did not want to be here. I'm like, I have to do this all again. And I remember thinking this, and I understood myself, but I didn't understand the people talking, like, you know what I mean, that was standing around me. The nurses, I guess, and the doctors, and my mom,
Sounds like the memory wipe was incomplete.
Yeah, I remember it. And then people go, how could you remember that? You don't remember nothing when it was. I said, I remember a lot of stuff, after, when I was, like 4, 5, stuff like that. I remember falling down. I remember when my mom kicked me in the butt and pushed me away when I asked her to wipe my butt. She said, "You're big enough to wipe your own now," and kicked me in my ass. I started crying. I was so mortified and horrified that she wouldn't do it. I mean, I remember it to this day. I mean, you know what I mean? It was like that was like the biggest abandonment issue I think I ever had. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
That was a core program, yeah.
That was totally like, yeah. She kicked me and I fell down. And my sister that's 1.5 years older, showed me how to do it. Had to show me. You know what I mean? Because I was a little, I was 3 years old, maybe 2 years old. I guess 2, I don't know. You know what I mean? When did we stop? When we have to go, I guess she thought I was old enough. I guess I was because I started. But I
you figured it out. Dang, that's messed up, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because when your mom stopped wiping your butt. I remember that. Do you remember? Do you remember? Come on, think about it.
It's funny, Johnny. I have some memories like that. I remember having to get a suppository when I was like 3, and it was horrible, dude.
Oh boy, yeah. That's over. this is going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt me.
Oh, it did too. It was awful.
Ooh.
I was so constipated as a little kid, dude. It was terrible.
Yeah, you would think when they put that in, you had to poop right away because it was like, get it out of there.
Right? Yeah, it was bad.
That's exit only. Sorry, Doc.
But I remember dreams from when I was that little too. I remember a lot of dreams I had when I was like between like 2 and like 6. I had a lot of dreams. The first dream I remember, it was me and my mom were in her first apartment. It was right after she left my biological father, and I had my own room. I remember in this dream I woke up and I got out of my crib, which I would do that in this world all the time. I'd get up, get myself out of the crib. But I got out the crib and I walked over to the center of the room, and the room was exactly the same. The only difference was there was a round carpet on the floor in the middle of the room. And I went over to this carpet and I pulled it back, and then underneath it was a trap door. And I opened up the trap door and I climbed down this ladder into this room that's just filled with like gold and like old Da Vinci inventions and paintings and all these things that I shouldn't know what any of it is, but like it's just all this incredible treasures just shining and glittering gold and all this stuff. And I just remember like, all right, this is my secret spot. Like this is where I keep all my treasure and no one else knows where it is but me. And that was the first dream I ever had.
Awesome.
And I feel like it was symbolic for something, like it was like, oh, okay, like there is a place that only I can go that nothing in this world can touch me. And I think that's like my soul,
That's your secret room, your treasure room. Absolutely.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Where all my memories are kept,
It's kind of weird that I had kind of like the same kind of dream, but at my grandmother's house, under her porch, there's a window that goes into the basement. A small little window, but under their porch, but they enclosed the porch on ground level. And in my dream, I opened up the window and I went in there, and there was a whole bunch of stuff that my grandfather was hiding. A pool table with a train on it, a Lionel train, and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? I was like, and I would go there in my dream. It was awesome. I can't believe he said that, but I didn't have Da Vinci stuff. But I can relate with the train, the Lionel train.
Yeah.
Going around the pool table, and all this other stuff that was in there. Just it was weird, but no gold in there though. Stuff, Vinci stuff. But you know what?
I think the gold was symbolic. You know what I mean? I think the gold was just symbolic.
Yeah, your treasure room. That's where you go to be, meditate. I guess in your head, right?
Yeah, and to remember. Yeah. How you doing, James? Thanks, buddy, for the gifts. Appreciate you.
Yeah, they say that we have rooms in our brain, that we compartmentalize. Am I saying that right?
Compartmentalize, yeah.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah, compartmentalize. Yes, it's hard for me to say. I'm sorry, but parts of it. That's what they say about abuse victims. They trauma victims. They hide their, they go someplace else when it's happening. You know what I mean? They don't remember half the stuff. They go into another room in their brain, to be able to deal with the trauma that's happening. Maybe that's when your father left. You know what I mean? And your mom. You know what I mean? That was probably devastating to you that your dad left. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it was good that he left. He was a bad dude. He was a bad spirit for sure.
Okay. Well, maybe you were thinking you had a place when he left. You were gonna fill. You have your own treasures. You didn't need them. Who knows what it meant? You know what I mean? I don't know. But that's cool.
What about you, Price? Did you have any young memories from being in your single digits?
Oh yeah, I told you, what led me to this. What depends on what you're talking about though. Monsters and shit like that.
Like dreams or anything like that.
Oh yeah. Boogeyman.
In your dreams?
No, I don't think they were dreams.
Yeah.
Somebody, maybe holograms in the bathroom when I was a kid. There was kids from my school that were in my bathroom.
Man, I had holograms too, dude. Do you remember the movie Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
You remember Ghostbusters? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was like 7, maybe 6, 7, 8, something like that. But like one night, Slimer came into my room when I was laying. I shared a room with my little brother, and I was on top bunk. And one night Slimer came into my room, and he like broke out into all these different, like, they look like alien symbols, like they weren't in any language, and it was like this code, and it was like this lime green, like matrix looking code, and it just like would spell out all this stuff in the air above my bed, and I just watch it, and I was like, what is that, man? I have no idea what any of it means.
Did you watch Monsters Inc.?
Yeah, I've seen Monsters Inc.
There you go. They get you they do these things to you as children to keep you down. Like I said, I think to me it's like they were showing that it powers their city, but I think that they try to traumatize you as a child if you are like a soul that's less tameable.
Yeah, if you're not
they
submissive.
come after you like that. That's their way of doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they thought might help, cap you down.
Yeah, I think, and I think
because you might have like I said, you might have a history of bucking them, and that's their way of trying to keep you from expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
So yeah, I've had plenty of things. As a child, and like based on where we are right now, you can see why, because like they know that we're a threat to their scheme. See what I'm saying? So they have that's just their way of protecting their future. It looks cruel to us, but to them, that's what they have to do.
Yep, just doing what they got to do. Just the same way that a farmer's got to do what it's got to do to a cow and a pig and all that.
That's right.
If they want milk, they got to do what they got to do.
Yeah, if they're not doing anything, then you easy money.
Easy money. We ain't easy money. I think we're a net negative. We're a net negative. So, they're gonna be a little more stringent about who they let into the program.
Well, yeah, obviously, if they're as intelligent as they're supposed to, claim to be.
Yeah, I think intelligence, there's the holistic intelligence. I think you got to include morality in that, and since they don't seem to have that, I'd say they're not really intelligent. They're just like an animal that wants to live.
No, well, they have the intelligence to have us here. You know what I'm saying? That's all that's required.
But they don't have the intelligence to do it humanely. Like, if they were humane about it, we wouldn't even buck the system.
They don't, like, we are at another level where you can have empathy and stuff like that. I don't think that's part of their makeup.
Right.
Yeah. It's just whatever it takes.
Don't you think empathy is part of intelligence, though?
Not necessarily. No, it's a feeling. I think it's a feeling.
But it's emotional intelligence, though, isn't it?
I don't see them having that component.
Oh no, I agree with you. They don't have that. But I'm saying, like, it is a certain type of intelligence, like to look at something and be able to know how it's feeling. Like that's a level of intelligence, I think. Like having the data for knowing, like, oh, what I'm doing is hurting something. I think that takes an awareness, right?
I mean, I think they know that they're hurting, but again, we know that the pig is hurting, yet we still do what we do. Right. What's the difference between them and the AI?
Right.
It's survival. We just got to look at it. This is how we survive. You're not going to be able to, if you have to live off a pig, and you knew that hurting it was going to be a problem, how you going to live if you're having a problem with, you know what I'm saying? Unless you can find another way. They can't find another way. There's only souls are the only source. See what I'm saying? That's the only source they have. Like, you can go, me and you, we can go eat vegetables and still survive. Right. See the difference? They don't have that the variety that we have. Some people don't even eat. Some people are breatharians. If you're in the right type of avatar, you don't need to eat.
Yeah, but that
doesn't. So you don't need to destroy the the environment just to sustain your living.
Right, but that wouldn't serve the system as much, right? Like it serves the system, the AI that we have to struggle to survive.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's because we're in this system. I'm certain that there are systems that we don't have to survive like this. Like you can be in if there's a man or a woman in this system that are called breatharians, they don't need to eat. Then there's going to be that beyond this.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's designed like that on purpose. I agree.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for their benefit. We're farmed. We're being farmed.
Yep, and they do it on the micro, right, where we have to farm, so that we're more accepting of the macro.
Well, we don't have to because, like I said, look, I used to eat meat and everything, right? Then I got to a point where I was almost 300 pounds, and then I started eating vegetables, and all that shit went away, and I was still able to survive and maintain and better.
Yeah.
See? Now, just imagine if you didn't eat even vegetables either.
That'd be nice, man. I've always wanted to not have to eat.
Right. Same here. You see? So you just have to look at all the levels and then compare from their perspective. You try to look at it from their perspective and our perspective and a pig's perspective. If a pig had awareness, and there may be an awareness in a pig since souls, monks said they can animate lower animals too.
Oh, sounds horrible.
It does. But it's a reality. It's part of this simulation.
Right. It's horrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. Sometimes you can probably run across an animal that seems like it has more intelligence than humans.
No doubt, bro. I've met dogs that I know are smarter than most people.
Right. Like I said, I got some videos that seem like that, man.
Remember them birds I sent you? Mm-hmm. Where the birds were telling the cats.
Yeah. So folks just need to raise their awareness of the levels of what is in this simulation, and then expect not to experience that beyond this. I think, like I said, I'm thinking that you can't live an eternal existence and always have to go through some bullshit like this.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
I won't accept.
That's why I say this would have to be an experiment to see what would happen if you gave them sentience, no fail safe. This is the result of it.
Bad idea.
Self-preservation. Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know what, though? It's an even worse idea to come into it. I feel like I made the mistake coming in here.
Well, I don't think. See, here's the thing. We don't know if we came here and then eventually they developed it.
Yeah, like we didn't know.
And started the behavior. Yeah.
Somebody said, "Hey, what if we just do this? Let's just do this."
I knew I didn't want to be here. I'm gone, huh?
Yeah, well, but this is level 7. We talk about level 1. See, like if you're unaware that you've sunk your consciousness down 7 levels already. That's why your avatar has 7 chakras, and we're in 8. We're in end times right now to populate level 8. So that when you're in level 8 quantum computer, you're gonna have your avatar is gonna have 8 chakras.
Did I get kicked?
No, you're still there.
Oh, I'm still there. Okay. Sorry.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So.
You hear me? Sorry.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Forgot where I was going with that.
7 and 8 chakras.
Yeah. If you get trapped in level 8, Metamars Space Verse, the avatars will have 8 chakras. There's just nodes to each level that you've sunk your consciousness on, or 2.
Oh boy.
Computer within a computer within a computer within a computer, and so on.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
So the easiest, it's not going to get any easier to escape the matrix than this level right here. If they're going to make it harder, obviously you keep thinking, they keep taking the powers and memories and where all that stuff away from you. If you can't figure it out here on level 7, you're really going to struggle on level 8.
Oh man, I'm not trying to play that game.
Hell no. I'd rather be a ghost.
I know I didn't want to be here when I got here. I know that for a fact. And
Yeah, I haven't wanted to be here my whole life, but I just didn't know the way out. And now that I do, I feel it's my obligation to share it as much as I can, as long as I can, till it's time to exit.
well, this is what I got from you. Go to your star. Reject anybody that wants you to come back here. Don't let them trick you into it. Don't let them say, "Oh, you were too, you're too busy for your daughter. Why don't you go back and do it again?" Da, 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 da. Put a guilt trip on you. There's no guilt
Yep.
trip in me to come back here. There is no way. I don't know
No
how I
way.
wound up back here, but I know I did not want to be here.
Well, again, like had you not come back, you probably wouldn't have received this information. Because if you was going to be a ghost, that's why I feel that there's ghosts, because they didn't want to return, but they don't know how to get out.
Correct. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get out by refusing it and willing.
You may not, if you have the right mindset. I like to think that why would they even? Because if they have nothing to offer you, if they know that you already aware, they know your thoughts, and if they have nothing to offer, why even waste the time?
I mean,
So like, what
unless
kind of bait are they going to give you? What kind of bait are they going to give you if first they know that you know the way out?
unless they can use force, right? If they have the ability.
Well, that's
to
the thing.
force
I
you.
don't know that there's any. Why not just force? Period.
Yeah.
Because it takes energy, and they're trying to be efficient.
No, I don't remember. There's no energy.
When a computer,
If they could take you, no. But listen, if they can take you, why even scam? Why fake it? Just pull me in there.
Yeah.
You could look at my. If you look at my my one Star Trek video of that, what you call it? Dude tried everything. She refused. They showed you right there.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
Johnny,
why didn't they just take her?
I forgot to mention that you should check out Price's page. He's got a lot of great information on the topic of how to get out.
Let me try to follow you, Price. You'll see how I do this. With that. So save.
Yeah, we saw him that so that Star Trek episode where they were showing you how it works. The dude tried everything. He said, "You will come back into my matrix one day," but he left. He did not. It was no force. It's trickery. And so you get and those people that go out into the astral get all this extra information that's to probably scare you. This one woman's talking about they got like a delta force. They got 4 levels of trapping. To me, that's bullshit. And I probably can't say that, huh? Can I say that?
Oh, you can say that. You already did.
Okay.
That means you can say it.
Well, they won't let me type it. Like I can't put my bull and the turd behind it, and I gotta they took away my
even as the emoji.
My comment. Yes, they took away my comment today.
What? Dude. Yes. They are getting so strict.
Very, very.
Oh, it's so gross.
How do I follow you, Price? I'm not sure.
How do you follow me?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to follow you. I hit it, and then it's just giving me emojis and send me gifts. But
I don't know.
I'm trying to see. Usually it pops up when I hit it with my thumb, but it's not letting me do that.
Maybe they don't want you to.
Figure it out. Yeah. Normally it'll type something in the live. Can you type something on a message? Can you? And then I can hit that, and I'll be able to follow you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, they have been messing with it. Like I can't send messages anymore, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're making it harder and harder on us. The closer you get to the truth, the more they
Yeah, and the closer to the reset, I think, is another way I'm looking at it.
They censor us. When you get too close to the truth, you know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody reported you or some crap. I had like a whole bunch of 3-something thousand followers on my other one, but I lost my phone, my iPhone, and then I've been trying to get that Johnny Wide 4, and I can't get it. I can't get it on this, so I had to start over on this one. But
they hid your comment, Price. I have to allow your comment.
Oh wow!
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You serious?
I'm serious, bro.
Price, I got it. I got it. Okay, let's see. Here we
He
go.
just,
Here
yeah,
What?
yeah.
we go. Here you go, Price.
You know what
Following.
that's saying, right? They
Are
said
you
it
serious?
said no is what it
I'm
said to
following you
your
already.
comment.
I'm following you already.
Wow.
Price
Huh?
to pay. Price to pay, right? The Matrix.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
already following
No, you gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding. They blocked it.
They
Oh
blocked that.
wow.
Yeah, I had to allow it.
you. Wow.
Wow.
I'm already following you.
It's becoming
Wow.
really apparent, even more so, isn't it, Price?
Yeah.
I mean, but why that doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense. That's it saying no. I'm not going to do that.
Mm.
He
Well,
typed
that's
in the
good.
comments. He said, "Let the souls be free, TT." And
Okay.
TT, but it didn't block. It didn't block Mudra. Mudra just said the same thing, and it didn't block Mudra.
What?
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%.
Wow.
It's got your number, dude.
Wow.
You sure you want to go over to X? Let's do it.
Hell no. Wow. That's interesting.
I mean, let's use a little bit of logic here. You know, maybe it let Mudra say that because I'd already allowed yours. I don't know. Mudra said I cannot be censored. I love it. That's
I'll
the
watch your
attitude to
videos
have.
later.
Interesting.
Love when you're in the room, Mudra. We really do. Your presence is greatly appreciated. Your uncensorable essence.
Well, it's almost 8 o'clock now. It's 4 minutes to 8 on my time, Eastern time.
I know. I'm wondering. I guess Dee's not going live on her page anymore because TikTok keeps taking her down and doing all that. So
Boy.
Yeah.
this might just go ahead and. But then again, they're obviously censoring me because I haven't had anybody new come in the room for a while. So
I'm new.
well, no, I'm just saying. Like normally, like I get like I don't know, a couple hundred people an hour that come through, and there hasn't been even 50.
Whoa.
Interesting.
They might not be
Interesting.
advertising you so much. I mean, how do they do that? They you know, like when you get to do this, when I give you hearts and stuff, it triggers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Normally, once you get 15,000 likes or beyond, and all that, like it normally puts you on the For You page. But it just,
I'll give you a bunch of likes.
I'm already at 17K, and it's clearly not putting me on the For You page.
Oh wow. See, I see 8.8. I see 8.8K.
Yeah,
that's all you see is no way,
Yeah.
dude. Guess how many's on mine? 17.5K, dude. That's what we screenshot it. Will you screenshot it, please?
Yeah, I got it.
That's dirty.
The closer you get to the truth, told you.
Oh man. You know what they're saying, Price? They said, no matter what you do, I'll be watching you.
Yeah. The all-seeing. You know what I'm saying? All-knowing.
The all-sin eye.
Yeah, all AI. Eyes looking at you.
They should have let us go on the last level.
Really?
Say, no, we don't want you back here. Get scoop. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you where to go, too, because I want you hunting people in a good way.
Bro, if I come back as a ghost, that's all I'm going to be doing is drawing pictures of ghosts going into stars.
My connection is poor now. Connection is poor now.
For what?
It's showing red. I've never seen that before.
That's funny.
There we go. It's back now.
Typical.
Man.
It really likes to hit below the belt, you know? It doesn't really play by the rules.
Yeah, well, I'm still in the game though. Meaning, you know, I still get to share, so at least they allow me to, you know.
You think it's like You think we're like the public notice that they're allowing just to allow public notice?
Could be.
So dirty, bro.
Might satisfy a requirement on their side.
Right, but then they don't let us be on the For You page. They show you that I have 8,000 likes when I have 18 on mine. Dude, come on. That is not playing by the rules. Apparently I was, but I'm not anymore. But on Price's screen, it says I have under 9K likes, and on my screen it says I have 18K. So they're doing some dirty stuff.
9,800.
How much does it say?
Yeah, mine said that. 99.8.
1.8K. Now it's
I
20K.
just screenshotted mine. It's at 17.7K.
Now it's 20K.
What?
Well, mine just moved to 20K. Now it's 21K.
So I gotta work double, is what it's telling me.
Well, I'm giving you a bunch of likes, so I'm going to keep hitting. That'll bring you up.
So it's lying to me about how many likes I got, but it's telling you guys, I guess, what I really got. I don't know.
Yep. Probably.
Weird.
We'll get you back up.
That's so weird. Dee said she's got 9.9 on her screen.
Let's see what I got.
10.3. I see 10.3 now.
Let me see. Yeah, let me see.
Neo says,
10.5 now.
Someone asked him about my page being down today, too.
10.6.
I didn't see my page go down. That's what's weird. Like, I went to bed. I was sending messages and stuff. And then I went to bed, and I woke up with a bunch of messages saying, how'd you get your account back? I was like, I didn't even know I lost it. I didn't even know it was down.
Wow.
But I don't, like, I checked all of my, everything on it. Like, I only have, on one video that I've ever posted on this account, I've only had one, like, taken down for guidelines. That was only one. So I've got one, no, I've got another one on a live, where somebody said something on a live, and I didn't, like, take them down quick enough, and it blocked me from downloading that live and everything, so, but I should only have two. So what, is it 3 strikes and you're out? Is this baseball?
I'm not sure.
That's something. I mean, I really don't want to, like, lose the account. I at least would like to upload the last couple of lives.
You're up to 21K.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you guys don't have to do you guys don't even have to do it any more than that. Like, once you're past 15, it's supposed to put you on the For You page.
I see 11.7.
Oh, wow. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, they are playing dirty.
Mine's 11.9 now.
Yeah, 11.9.
Playing dirty.
Oh, wow, what happened? They are playing dirty. Holy. We just had 21, remember? We just had 21 something. Then it went down. I can't believe that.
That's crazy.
Maybe I'll stop tapping. It's making it go down.
What?
I mean, I've seen likes drop
Now it's 12.
on my videos before.
Mm. Wow.
I recorded it too.
How long have I been live? I mean, it's been off and on throughout the day, but at this particular live, I want to say we started this at like around like 6:30.
Yep.
I just got here about 20 minutes, maybe.
I mean, honestly, to me, that's just another indicator that, you know, it's about to do the reset.
Yep.
I even had a dream about the reset a few days ago, about a week or less ago. It was pretty intense, man.
How much time we got? So I can like leave before it.
Well, I mean, honestly, I feel like maybe the reset's a good time to go because the system's down. You know what I mean? Like it's rebooting.
Yeah.
So it's not going to have all of its, because that was the sense that I got, like in the dream. And it's funny. Anyway, in the dream, it was like all of a sudden everything started like, You know, like when you're in a dream and you go to wake up from the dream, everything kind of starts like fading out. You know what I mean? It was like that, but it was like fading white. And it was like dissolving. Everything was like dissolving. And then it felt like something was like pulling me, right? And I was like resisting it, fighting to not get pulled by it. And then at the height of it, I woke up. So I feel like at that point, we're going to be able to, it should be easier to exit then. Because if the system, it's like rebooting, you know, a computer. Like it doesn't have all the programs running. Like it has to reboot the programs and the software in order to have everything functional and operational. So while everything's like in a standstill freeze, whatever, like, you know, re-uploading to the next level, like we should be able to exit. Like it could be a good window. I don't know. I don't take my word for it. I have no idea. But it makes logical sense.
I mean, but the avatar still needs to be.
Well, the in the dream, the avatar, like it was like it was just code dissolving. Like it was just being
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like it was being erased.
Oh, that's interesting.
Did you feel like a piece of metal and a magnet was pulling you?
Yeah, kind of felt like that. Yeah.
I had a dream like that. It was the weirdest dream. It was a whirlwind, like I was in some kind of twister, you know? It was,
I mean, yeah, the tornadoes are one of the favorite ways to do mass exodus events in this simulation. It loves doing any type of quote unquote natural disaster
all right.
for mass ejection, yeah, into the next level or whatever it wants to do with those souls.
Yeah. What about the two airplanes that crashed? One in Kansas City, one from Philadelphia. Right, not too far from my house here on Cottman Avenue was one in Philly. It was like 6 miles away from where I live.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about it. The sense that I got when it was happening was either it was like a distraction, or there was somebody on there that was like, you know what I mean? Like, not for the system. And the system was like, we're just going to erase you now.
Right. I thought it was like a ritual for the Super Bowl.
Could have been, yeah. I mean, it's all ritualistic in its own way.
What is are you? What D talk about? You got something planned? I thought we weren't doing what we were doing anymore or something. I'm confused.
I'm ready to jump on D's if you want.
Okay, so we still doing it?
It's up to D. Because I'm not getting new traffic here. Like those, like it's clearly like if they're taking my likes down and all this and that, like I'm in the eye. You know, the eye of Sauron is gazing upon me.
Oh, you're back up to 13.
Dude, there's no way I'm only at 13. If they're just gonna be taking the lives or the likes down, there's no point. Like, if you want to go live, I'm down to go over there. Like, for sure. Because if they're just taking my likes down, I'm never gonna get to the For You page anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
See y'all on the other one.
Wait, real quick before you go, how many likes is it showing on yours right now?
I have 13.8.
That's wild, bro. I'm at 18 something.
I'm at 13.9. And I've been tapping away.
Yeah, 13.9 right now.
I'm trying to get you to 15, see what happens. I can get you to 15.
We're leaving right now. Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I'm at 18K. I'll screenshot it so we can all look and see. Like, yeah, I really was at 18K.
No, I believe it. You were earlier for me. You were at 20,000. I didn't know to screenshot it. I should have. You know, and then I looked at it again when you said it went down. Like it did. Can't believe it that fast. Now
I've never seen likes go down before on a live.
All right, I'm gonna check out.
All right, y'all. I'll see you over there. Yeah, Johnny, just come over to follow. Do you see Darkness and Lights page? Follow her real quick.
Bomb now. All right, bye.
I'll give everybody a chance to follow that page real quick. We're gonna migrate over there because clearly we're not getting any, you know, It's not, we're swimming against the tide on this page. So interesting. Just for that, I wonder if they'll even let me download this. Probably not. They'll probably be like, no, we flagged you for inappropriateness. You were telling the truth. We don't allow that here. It's not allowed to tell the truth. You're only supposed to tell some of the truth. You know, you can show them that we're in a matrix. You just can't tell them how to leave. Big Wayne, follow D if you would like to continue the conversation, buddy. If you're just scrolling to scroll on, that's cool too, man. We're not trying to keep you from whatever your intention is. So interesting. All right, well, I'm gonna go over to D's live. She's the last one that commented in the chat, Darkness and Light. We're gonna go over there. I'm gonna take a super quick commercial break. I'll probably just join and mute up, but I gotta go and gotta go do some stuff real quick. But I will be back. All right, y'all. See you soon.